That's crazy you started the stream like that. But anyways, big up, ladies and gents. Welcome to another installment of the Casually Chelsea show. I'm accompanied by the panel of the Bridge Nation, Oliver, Scott, and Real Chicken Nugget Chris. You guys already know what to do. Be sure to smash up the like button if you haven't done so already. God bless you. Be sure to also subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Check out the links in the description for the Discord and all types of other fun content. We have a very active Discord, so come join the community, be an active member in there, talk to me, put in your receipts, clips, all that fun stuff. Do watch alongs. Ahmed's also on there as well. So yeah, big up to everyone in the Discord community. Big up to our members as well. If you are already a subscriber and you want to consider helping out the channel a little bit more than just showing up and smashing the like and subscribing and being a viewer, you can become a member, which helps us up the project here and make sure that we are continuing to improve as a channel, and it helps big time. So big up to you guys in the community. Enjoy your emojis if you are a member as well. And last but not least, just a bit of an update. So this show, we got some pretty big stories. We couldn't stream on Sunday because just quite frankly there wasn't really that much to talk about other than the Veiga and Carney, but we've got big updates since then, so we'll discuss all those topics. Big up to everyone who tuned in to our segment that we made I made yesterday into a video, which is talking about striker targets. Interesting comments in there, so be sure to check out that video from yesterday and leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts on what we discussed there on the panel. But without further ado, enough of me chatting about. Let's go ahead and get this show rolling. And as always, as the roller coaster goes, we start on the incline and then build up the suspense. So let's go ahead and start off with this first story, which is the PSR and financial penalty update. So if you guys don't already know, we had a bit of an update in regards to PSR and in regards to what happened to Chelsea, or what's going to happen to Chelsea with the whole Roman Abramovich under the table deals and all that stuff that we were supposedly going to be penalized for. So let's discuss that. Let's go into the first tweet we have here from Sky Sports News, reporting the 13th that on the 14th, the Premier League will be issuing disciplinary charges against any clubs who have broken financial rules for the 2021 and 2024 reporting periods. So about a 4-year window there, which includes 2021, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, 4-year window there. We continue on. Sources close to Chelsea's ownership were very confident ahead of that date when the Premier League will issue complaints over clubs who have broken PSR rules. Chelsea sold their women's team to their parent company, a deal which also is subject to Premier League scrutiny. But guess what? There's a loophole FC. But then the update came out that no clubs were charged by the Premier League in the 2023-2024 PSR breaches. Also another one confirming here that Chelsea have not been charged with any PSR breaches. To add on to the story, Chelsea's ownership are in talks to settle secret payments made under Roman Abramovich era with cash rather than facing sporting punishment like points deduction. Normally, secret payments related to transfers would lead to tough sanctions such as points deductions, but Chelsea have argued that any rule breaches took place under a different ownership 10 years ago. And indeed, the payments would not have been revealed and reported had it not been for the new owner's due diligence process. And then, nope, teaser right there. Anyways, so yeah, ladies and gents, pretty much looks like we're going to find another means towards paying that penalty that we were basically fined or, accused of early onset that our own owners found and self-reported. Looks like it's not going to be a sanction or a points deduction, but a fine. Looking more and more in that direction. And we broke no PSR rules. I mean, I don't know what else there is to add there. Maybe some compliments in terms of how well we're doing in terms of the PSR. I don't know. Maybe some criticism that maybe we shouldn't have self-reported. I don't know, panel. What do you guys think about that whole spiel?
I know, Chelsea stay sneaky. I heard half of it.
Chris, you always have the best one-liners, man.
I mean, Chris is alright, man. I don't know, man. Listen, man. Hopefully, this gives us another 100 million to spend on another 19-year-old. You know, another 19-year-old man. Can't wait, man. Can't wait, man.
Yeah, can't wait.
Maybe there's another guy in like maybe we can start
Brazil?
getting into the Paraguayan market, man. The Paraguayan market. You know what I mean? Maybe the Ghanaian market. You know what I mean? Maybe we can start looking into the East African market. The next Somali striker. You never know.
No, I'm
sure there's no market there, man.
You said next Somali striker. Have a day off. Shut it down. Close down the ops.
Hey, don't worry, man. East exclusive enough, man. East exclusive enough, man.
We're gonna get the next Somali tennis player before we get the next Somali footballer, man. Come on.
What do you mean? He actually was played for Birmingham City in the FA Cup. So have shame. He was CDM.
Is that really the highest accolade you had a Somali player play for Birmingham?
League One, man. Listen, man.
Man, like Larson and them, right?
League One, man, baby. League One, man, baby stats, man. League One, baby stats. Come on, bro.
I think Saeed TV is a better accomplishment than that, man.
What? Playing the FA Cup?
Birmingham City, man. Have some shame.
That's the League One, bro.
Haven't been relatable since Barclays Premier League, bro.
He's a decent semi-professional player. Come on, leave him alone.
All right, fair enough. Man like Morecambe and them. But anyways, yeah. Listen, PSR is going well. We're abiding, which is good. That means we can still make more transfers. You know, the infinity going transfer window project continues on, and
we can still make some transfers. But what transfers have we made, please?
Listen, man, it doesn't have to be now. I'm just saying the window is open, literally.
I couldn't tell.
We can definitely still do something. So,
what do you mean? We already bunged a player.
Listen, we'll you know what? Let's keep going then, because maybe we'll get into some juicy things. But I mean, to be fair, we will actually get into some juicy things, because the next part we have is everyone's favorite part.
Is it fucking sponsored?
Close. No, more new home kit leaks. Let's go. All right. So we have here Chelsea 25-26 home kit is predicted to include a grunge graphic aiming to reflect the tough character of the city and dynamic elements that represent local music and art. Listen, bro, give it a rest.
I suddenly hate that kit so much.
Man is literally putting like a story behind the art. Like, man, just give me a cool looking kit. And to be fair, if this is the kit next season, I'll buy it. This is a really nice looking kit. I like this a lot.
You like all the kits anyway, so.
Chris, here we go.
There's no hero. It's a good kit. It's just you like all of them anyway. But
no, I don't like all of them.
I'm convinced.
Are you kidding me, Chris? Don't make me go back and find the receipts. I did not like all of them. I was very critical.
Okay, like
that stupid zigzaggy Croatian flag one.
Yeah, like a 95% like you liked.
More like 70%. Okay, calm.
Oh, okay, no.
All right.
I can't like
we reviewed like what 20 kits. You like 18 of them or something. I'm talking about like last year, this year.
Before I spit the water out of my mouth, go ahead, Scott.
I actually quite like the kit, but like I don't like what the fuck does it mean by grunge graphic? Like, because it's dirty.
I have no fucking idea, bro. I don't know where the fuck. Oh, if this is accurate, then maybe this little piece right here. You see how it's all faded out?
No,
I doubt it would be that. But it's a little tiny piece. It's all like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like what? I don't know where the hell they go. I like it. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I do like it.
The explanation of it. This isn't an art piece. It's the kit.
Why have we got to be like weird when we do this? Like, you look at other teams. Like, I look at when Roma did theirs. They had like, I think it was a picture of the city inside the kit, and it looked sick. It was the same with Atletico Mineiro when they had their kit a couple of years ago. I think they had their like the whole state in there that they play in their.
Oh, that's cool.
In their kit, and it looked really sick. Ours is like just has to be weird. Like when we had the one that looked like it was a broken Lego set, and it was because it was bits and pieces of the stadium, but not actually together or something. I don't know.
The broken Lego set? Are you talking about
the Lampard kit?
Yeah, the one that looked like it was little bits of like Screwfix. Oh, you don't know what Screwfix is. Little bits of like, what's the like the planes you could put together?
Oh, like a model airplane?
Yeah, like it's just search it up. I can't I don't know how best else to explain it.
The 2019-2020 kit.
Yeah, and you'll see it was meant to symbolize the stadium and like made up of bits and pieces of the stadium.
Oh yeah, this is the Yokohama kit. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. Or that's
Yeah,
what
that
it
one.
is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I didn't even know that. Fuck. How do I open this and make it bigger? Fuck. Okay, I'll just do this. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I could see it with the whole architectural arch beams and all that stuff. It's a cool kit though. It's just a little odd.
No, it looks cool. It's just like, again, it's just the whole reasoning behind it is like just so
Yeah, I mean they had the same idea with the pink kits with we want to represent the rich punk rock history of London.
I mean, listen, we all know what it is at the end of the day. You know, it's just excuses to release a brand new kit and charge a couple £100 for anyone to buy it. You know, and completely extort the football fan. That's all it is.
Are you guys happy with the kit prices?
No.
I don't buy kits, so I don't care.
The thing is, I've only brought one kit this year, essentially.
I bought one this year too.
Which is the home kit, and that was roughly what? I think it was like 75, 80 quid.
Someone's playing AFC.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I heard that too.
See, that's not me, sadly. So 75, 80 quid, and that was a lot of money, bro. I'll be honest, man. And like the thing is, like the actual and then the thing is, that's just like a regular kit, right? The one which is like the actual one they wear in the game is 124.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
Which is even more money. Which is like, and that's kind of like, bro, we're just taking the piss there, innit? You know what I mean? That's like, we're actually taking the piss, genuinely.
No, I agree. I mean,
initially we used to have like home and away. Now I've got a third kit now. Now like what's happening with PSG and like they've obviously got the Jordan brand. They've now got a fourth kit now. So they've got like 1, 2, 3, and 4 kits, bro. Literally,
to be fair,
4 kits.
It could be worse.
No, I'm just saying though, like they've got 4 kits right now, bro. That's deep, that, bro.
No, I know, like, but I'm saying it could be worse.
I know what you mean, yeah, I know what you mean. But listen,
bro, go look at the MLS. Like they release so many kits.
I was about to get to that, bro.
They'll have pretty fire.
Bro. Oh no, the MLS kits are sick, but bro, they'll have 2 kits. They'll have home and away. They'll have a special kit. They'll have like the last year just gone. The last year just gone, they had like retro kits, which were fucking sick, by the way. They have this one I can't like knock. They have a kit that is basically for like it's like a recycling basically. So it's like green stuff. So that's already 5 kits you're looking at. And then I'm pretty sure they have another one. I can't think what it is, but it's 6 different.
So I think the MLS is very similar to like what the NBA do, where they have like a home kit, an away kit, and there's technically like a third kit. But then they also have like the city kit, which is called like the city kit, and then they have like another one which is like kind of like a retro kit. So it's like 5 kits they've got there.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is with them, their prices, I think their prices are usually around about $100, if I'm not mistaken. Somewhere in that region.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's fair when it comes to just like considering like the average price of a kit, like and I'm saying like it's fair in terms of like if that's not per se like what Ahmed said. And this is one thing I don't like about kits nowadays is that you have the replica kit and then there's the legitimate kit, right? The ones that the players wear.
Match worn,
the match worn kits, right? But they're not even like necessarily the same thing. Like the match worn kit has like a different way they use the logo, and even the design is slightly different than the actual replica kit. And it's just like those differences that's like, bro, just give me an exact match with lesser quality, right? Like lesser, fabric or whatever you have to do. Don't use the Nike Fit Breeze technology or whatever the fuck, right? I feel like $100 for a kit. Obviously, you're putting a lot of money into like the quality and the stitching and all that bullshit. But if that's like the one kit that the players wear, the fans can wear, and you're not having different designs overall, that's I'm okay with that to an extent. To an
Because
extent.
remember, I think like you can tell there's like a difference in kit between the two of them, bro. There's like a you feel it.
Yeah, that's why I had it like my third away kit. I had to be the expensive one because of the differences that there were in there. Because I didn't like the stitching on the replica kit. I wanted the heat pressed on badge and stupid shit like that. That I just wish they just had that in the replica version. It's I had to spend an extra bit of money for that version. It's annoying and it's over the top. Like I'm paying nearly $200 for a fucking shirt that I wear every now and again. God damn, I might as well bought a suit with that or part of a suit. Not buying that cheap of a suit, to be fair. But question for Scott: when you were looking at those retro kits that you just mentioned, did they have a Metro Stars one by chance?
I don't know. They had bro, the one that was sick. Completely off topic, I know. For Chelsea, the one they had that was sick was they had a Kansas City Wizards kit for SKC. That was so dope. Like that one, like. I would have loved.
Yeah,
I think they had
they're not Kansas City Wizards anymore, right? That was like old.
No, the SKC. They also, I think they had a Miami FC one for Inter Miami because of course they did. But no, I don't remember if they had a Metro Stars kit.
Yeah, fucking Metro Stars. If you know, you know. By the way, but yeah, Metro Stars, bro. That's my shit. Okay, let's go ahead on to the next thing. A little bit of excitement if that kit does look like that. But the next story we have here is Mainoo is actually really for sale. So the links between Kobbie Mainoo and Chelsea have died down quite a bit, but the actual sale of Mainoo has not. It's very, very true. So United's rivals think that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is ready to sanction the sale of Kobbie Mainoo and others this month. Chelsea are watching the situation, and very much so, like we heard last season or last summer transfer window. If there is an opportunity, Chelsea would look into it. An opportunistic signing for Kobbie Mainoo. What do we think of that?
Oh no. Great player, but why does
do
Chelsea
what?
need to do what? To be on the bench?
Who's leaving our club for him?
No one.
Forget that though. To do what? Where does he fit?
No, that's the point I'm asking. Someone has got to leave for him to fit. So who's leaving?
No, he doesn't. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you put him in the starting 11. Where, oh my!
Oh, he doesn't go in the starting 11. He would be for depth, in my opinion.
50 million for depth though.
So
he cost a lot of money, by the way.
Yeah, he'd be
I
50.
mean, we paid 40 for Esteval, 40 for Cole. Like,
yeah, but this is a direct rival, and
we
he's
have
he's
Champions League.
English player.
Well, hopefully we have Champions
Marshall's
League.
talking
I'm getting
like
ahead of
Champions
myself
League
again.
guaranteed.
We hopefully have.
We could have
Champions
said
League
You
next
can say
season.
Europa League. You can at
I
least
really
say.
hope we have Champions League next season.
Listen, I can guarantee you Europa League, but I don't know if I can guarantee you ECL, man. That's
I mean,
Bro,
top
that-
five. Wait. Top five could be still Champions League. We have
Listen,
that.
it was a
matter.
Freudian slip.
I'm
It was a
I'm not
Freudian
even
slip.
talking about. I'm not even talking about top five. I'm just saying we can at least guarantee Europa League if you beat the Conference League. If you win the Conference League, that's
Oh
guaranteed
yeah.
at the very minimum.
At least we
That's
got
one
that,
of them. Yeah, that's one of them
Bro,
guaranteed.
what has happened to my club, bro? We're talking back like we're aiming for Europa now.
Yeah,
Oh.
the title
And,
charge is died
This
down. real
guy's
quick.
asking for 200k a week, respectfully.
Yo, that's crazy. Kobe's for
Mainoo-
Strasbourg.
Mainoo's definitely a quality player, but he's asking for somewhere in the region of 200k a week. I don't think Chelsea's willing to pay that.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro.
Remember, we're not
Wait,
even
but
willing to pay.
hold on,
We're
though.
not even willing to pay 200k to Michael.
No,
Olise.
but hold on.
We're not
What
willing
if?
to pay 200k to some other players.
Wait,
that
I have a
don't wanna
question.
mention.
Hypothetical, right? Okay, he wants 200k. Sometimes you aim high because you want something around that value. Maybe you ideally would like to get 200k, but you'll settle for like 180, 175, something better than what you have right now.
Still too much.
If with incentivized bonuses and so on and so forth, don't you think that maybe Chelsea could persuade a Mainoo into thinking like, listen, we're willing to give you 175k, but that's if you trigger these clauses and bonuses. So you have to get 10 assists in a season and so on and so forth. This
No.
Champions League, you don't think it's possible at all?
No, because the reality is right now his stocks are probably the highest it's ever been right now in terms of
Are they?
going to. Well,
I don't know about
mean,
that.
in terms of like recent performances.
He
At
is
the end
one
of last season,
I mean,
Are they? But no.
I
Man said
think
some
I think he's
performances.
one of the
Are
top
they?
list.
I mean, obviously not against a Hunter, obviously, which is today. But I'm talking about like his
Well,
Arsenal, his
bro,
Arsenal.
Man like
been
Uguchuku.
no, I'll be
Yeah,
real.
Taking his
Since
chain.
Since Amarim's come in, he's been shit.
That
This
is
is true.
fair. But I think part of it also is that I think mine has been overplayed, and like I don't want us to do I don't want us to get mounted. Oh, that was crazy. I don't want us to get mounted. If you know what I mean.
Huh?
You know what I mean? Right? That's what I'm saying. So there we go.
That is
right?
a big pause.
Yeah, but like I know on a serious note, I think Oliver's right in terms of where does he fit in our team is a big issue for me. I think the other thing for me also becomes with him is
In the coffee maker.
the money amount, right?
With coffee in the bag.
The money is just not gonna make sense because we couldn't pay that money to the best one of the best up and coming wingers in the world, who deserves that money week in week out. So how are we gonna give it to Kobe Mainoo? Because I don't think he deserves that money.
No, we'll find a way, bro.
Yeah, talk to me.
No, we'll find a way. These owners.
We'll find a way. They said, by the way.
I want to go next up.
Stupidness.
What was that?
No, we don't need. We don't need Kobe Mainoo. He doesn't fit in this team at all.
No, he doesn't. No, I
And
get
he's
it.
not.
You gotta remember, we have Santos coming back.
The closest thing for Kobe Mainoo in terms of a role for Chelsea, in my opinion, would be as a substitute or a rotational player to Enzo Fernandez. That's the closest thing I can think of. And even
That's
Enzo
supposed to be Andre
Fernandez-
Would that be a waste of money?
No,
We
Santos
have
for
Santos
me.
as well. Yeah.
Oliver, Santos for me is more of a substitute or rotational player between Lavia Caicedo. For me, Enzo is more of the attacking prowess midfielder with the ability to do long threaded passes, diagonal passes, which I just don't see Mainoo doing often. I think Mainoo's just overall just a well balanced 8, maybe even a box to box. You'll say.
He's more attacking. What I've seen, but
You think he's more attacking? I don't know if he's more
Kobe
attacking.
Mainoo, I think he's more going forward player. But
He wasn't used that way under Ten Hag. I don't know about Amarim.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I mean, he
CP? You
just
wanted to go
plays
next?
Yeah,
next to
if you're telling me he's trying to go to the moon and be amongst the stars bullshit, nah, he can fuck off with 80K a week. He can the most I want to pay is 80K a week. This man is fucking Region Kovacic, overrated as shit for a hype job of 5 years. He's been dog shit in this Amarim job system. The only one who's been good is Ahmad. Fuck no. Get him away from my club. I am not paying 100, 200K for this Kovacic region, and just because he's English, we're gonna hype him up like he's God's greatest gift.
Wait, does he even have real good dribbling ability like that though?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He's ball carrying. It's very Kovacic like, and he has better shooting than
haven't seen
Kovacic.
it.
Sure, but the passing range is very Kovacic like, where it's like sometimes he can pull a pass, but it's not gonna happen that often. I'm not paying for a Kovacic region of like 50K, 50 million plus like 200K a week. He can fuck right off.
Can I just say quickly?
Talk to me.
Can we get players who are level 65 and above? You know what I mean? Why would you keep on getting players that are level like 15?
I don't understand the
that's
reference.
just
Yo, your face when you said that, like,
I don't understand the
yo,
reference.
Ahmed is genuinely just so tired, bro. Ahmed is exhausted. He's had
I won't
enough.
explain the reference, but
I think a few of us are.
Wait, huh?
Didn't get
Oh
the-
yeah, me
I
and
said
tired.
I want players who are at level 65, level 70, level 80. You know what I mean? In terms of experience, they've leveled up 70 times. You know what I mean? They've got the weapons ready. They know how to
Well,
do the thing.
you had one of those players last season, but you wanted him gone, and you disrespected his
that?
legacy at Chelsea.
And who is that? Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva, yeah, is a level 90, yeah, that downgraded to level 20. Yeah,
Let's have it
respect. Have respect for yourself, bro. Have respect, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Have respect. But I don't,
Disrespectful.
But listen, guys, I'm just gonna be honest. I just want level 70 players, please. Level 70, please. I want them to be able to do everything that I need them to do. Level 70 only. I don't want to see another. If I see another, 18, 19 come to this football club, I'm at the edge now, bro. Well, I am at the edge. Can't believe I said that before.
I agree. You know what I'm going to talk about this.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But speaking of a level 19 and a 20 who thinks he's a level 70 and a 60, let's talk about the first big story that happened this week, which has been on the minds of a lot of people, and it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. I'll give my take on this once we read through the tweets. A lot has happened in a week when it comes to Renato Veiga. So there's a big conundrum happening around the player. Let's go ahead and a conundrum that I think he self-imposed. But let's go ahead and start off with the first tweet that we have here, which is from Ben Jacobs. Early on last week, we heard that apparently Renato Veiga had rejected an approach from Wolves. And, you know, rightfully so. Everyone was like, yeah, proper Chelsea. He wants Chelsea. Plot twist. Exclusive. Borussia Dortmund have reached a verbal agreement with Renato Veiga, who is keen on the move. Dortmund are now trying to find an agreement with Chelsea about a loan deal with an option to buy. We continue on. Chelsea have not been actively trying to sell Renato Veiga, but he is understood to be eager to play more regular football. Chelsea currently want to sell Renato Veiga. Veiga is pushing to start center back regularly. Approaches from Italy, France, and Dortmund and Premier League teams, I guess, have happened. Chelsea value Renato Veiga more than £20 million and are adamant he will only leave the club on a permanent transfer this month, according to Matt Law. Then, continuing forward, we have that Chelsea has set a price of £29 million for Renato Veiga and will also request a sell-on clause to be included. They are not interested in loaning him out and are only prepared to sanction a permanent departure. Then we hear more about the reasons why from Fabrizio here. Renato Veiga expected to leave Chelsea as club opened the doors to permanent exit, not a loan. Chelsea want around 30 million euros from Veiga to leave, accommodating his request to go and play as a center back, not as a left back. His request to go and play as a center back, not as a left back. Full agreement, Borussia Dortmund and Veiga on contract/project in place. Then we continue on here with Enzo had a little bit to say on the situation. So when asked about it, his response was, at the moment, I'm not aware that there's an agreement for Renato. Yesterday, he was here working with us, and today he will be here. At the moment, he is our player. The only thing I can say is that we bought Renato from Basel. He has played in different positions and has played well. This has also allowed him to be a senior in the national team for the first time in his life. I think that's a very important statement right there. Even if he is not playing in his position, it means he can do well in the position he is playing. Basically, Maresca telling you, Renato, that, my dude, we gave you the platform to be where you want to be right now, playing for Portugal. You are a versatile player. Dog, give it up. As Ahmed would say, put the fries in the bag. We continue on. He also says here about, Renato, speaking with Renato about the situation. Yeah, I had a chat with Renato. I told him the same thing I told you. In terms of playing in the position he is playing with us, it gave him the chance to play for the national team and caused speculation around him, meaning clubs are looking at him because he is doing well, because we put you on the spotlight, my guy. If there is a player that just wants to play in one position, then they are going to struggle. It is a good thing for the team and for the club. And to back this statement, we have Renato Veiga's first interview with Chelsea, and when asked about his favorite position or what his preferred position is, his answer was, I don't know. I like to adapt to the situation. It depends on the game and the opponent. Now, he is saying that he wants to leave because he isn't playing his favorite position of center back. In my opinion, I think it has to do a lot with the national team. We continue on. Renato Veiga's exit from Chelsea would not mean a new arrival. The likes of Malo Gusto and Reece James can play left back as backups to their more orthodox options. Breaking, Renato Veiga wants to stay for a long term. He just wants to go on loan for 6 months. Man wants to have his cake and eat it too, apparently. Renato never wanted to leave on a permanent deal. We continue on. Revealed here, the Portugal manager Roberto Martinez recently told Veiga that he is in contention for a place in the 2026 World Club squad at the moment. Martinez also said, however, that he would need to play more regular football in order to make sure of a slot. We continue on, and this is, I believe, is the latest. Fabrizio Romano, more of Renato Veiga, understand he always wanted to stay at Chelsea for long-term, trusting the project, and has always refused to leave permanently. Only 6 months loan is considered an option by Veiga for the January window, as he plans to stay at Chelsea for the long term. Actually, I still have two more, so bear with me here. Not only Cassidy's exit, Chelsea have been approached again by Borussia Dortmund in the last 24 hours for Renato Veiga. The two clubs are in contact to discuss the formula of a deal, as Veiga remains top of the list of the Dortmund board. And then the latest here from Burger PJ, who we did use as reference earlier. Dortmund have submitted an official loan offer for Renato Veiga. It includes a loan with an option to buy. Negotiations ongoing, and Chelsea is currently evaluating Dortmund's offer. Now, a few things to look into here as far as my take goes on this whole situation. One, I'm not that upset about it. I don't feel like he's a snake for it, to be honest. Like, if we had to be rational here and reasonable, the only difference between this and Maatsen is the fact that maybe it's been more public. And at first it looked like it was a permanent deal, but yeah, it's a weird one in that sense. Maybe he backtracked on it, to be honest, when he found out it was a permanent. I can't see a world where he agrees of an agreement but overlooks the fact that it was a permanent deal, unless his agent did it and didn't tell him until the last minute. And I don't know. The point is that he wants a loan. He wants to play. He doesn't play enough at Chelsea. You can probably put that on Maresca, considering he's picking like Malo Gusto over him in that preferred position. But I mean, I feel like there's a lot of overreaction on this story. But at the same time, it is a weird one, considering if he were to go, you're relying on Reece James and you're relying on Malo Gusto to be a backup left back to Cucurella. It's baffling to me. I mean, Scott, I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this situation. No, Scott might be away. Yeah.
Apologies, I was on mute. I don't really care about the whole thing in terms of like, I think, as you said, Marshall, it's like really overblown. The whole thing from his point of view is like for example, that interview you mentioned where he said about like, I don't know what my best position is. That was when he first joined, because he didn't know what his best position was. He hadn't made his debut with the national team yet. At Basel, he played a mix of positions. That's what like we got told, is that he's played a few different positions. So like, yeah, he doesn't like. For example, people forget Nkunku, when he first came through as a player, was a centre mid. He started as a centre mid in his career. That's how he came through the PSG academy. That's how he started at PSG, was as a centre mid. He didn't start playing as a winger and an attacker until he left PSG. So it's like, it's a similar thing where like he just might not know at the time what his best position is, or like where he might be best in terms of his development, and where, especially as we mentioned, the like national team might see him. Because ultimately, like some of these guys, if they get called up to the national team and they have the opportunity to play for the national team, like if Martinez says to him, I don't see you as a left back, which I don't think he would be a left back in that system, and he's not really going to play DM, considering who they've already got with your likes of Palhinha, Carvalho, even Pereira's down on the depth chart as well in that position. Like, he's not going to play there. So centre back is like the only position he can really get into. And I'll be real, I think that's long term his best position. I think at midfield we've seen so far, he's not really a midfielder, especially in a possession system. Hasn't really worked as well. Left back, unless you're going to invert, he's not a overlapping left back. So like he's going to be best as a centre back, whether that's in a 2 or a 3. So for his career, centre back is going to be what he needs to develop as. So like, that just makes sense. And he's never going to play centre back regularly at Chelsea. Even if he plays regularly, which is a question mark, he'll never play centre back regularly.
There's also the factor of Maresca trusting him, right? And the other factor being, I mean, I wanted to point this out too, and Scott, you kind of alluded to this to an extent. The fan base didn't even rate this guy. Like, prior to this story breaking out, the fan base were saying this guy is mid, he's not good enough for Chelsea, and then all of a sudden, it's being overblown.
No, what the fan base did is they hyped him massively when he first came in, when we got him for 10 mil, when he had a good few first performances. They hyped him massively. Then he had a bit of a drop off and they said he's shit. And now this came out and they said, oh, he's definitely shit, get rid of him, we can improve upon him. So it's like they do what they always do. They're on their bullshit again.
Of course.
What was I going to say? But yeah, I said I think it's overblown, and I think ultimately as well. I think the thing with him, I don't know, with the whole like wanting to go permanently or on loan, like not permanently. I think him wanting to go on loan and like not for it to be a permanent, I think is good in a sense, because it's like it shows that he wants to be here long term. He just thinks that he needs to develop in a way that's going to better help the team and help himself. Which if he does that, it helps the team. And the best way for him to do that is at Dortmund. You're talking about one of the best clubs in the world at developing players, young players. You're talking about a club where he'll get regular minutes at a position that is going to be his best position moving forward. I think he'll get regular minutes anyway. And yeah, and then he comes back in the summer, like back in the summer, and depending on how he develops, he could immediately at that point go into the backup centre back option ahead of Badiashile, depending on how he develops.
Yeah, I can see that. Depending on how Badiashile comes back as well, because apparently Maresca's saying that he's back soon. He went from really bad injury to now Badiashile's going to come back soon. I think you mentioned that in the previous press conference. What does the rest of the panel think about this whole Veiga situation? It was a pretty big story for a few days.
Sorry, I just want to talk about Dortmund for 1 second. Just for 1 second. These cucks. I saw reports that they're willing to sell Dilo Gittins to Bayern. You little cucks. I swear to God, when you have English clubs of Chelsea willing to pay more money, but you're somehow once again linked to one of your players going to Bayern Munich, and you're going to freaking make them pay like, what, 30 million for this kid, while you're going to charge us 100 million. You little cucks. I fucking hate you. You cheap ass little cucks for Bayern.
Let's go backstage then, yeah? We'll go backstage.
And be like frauds. I fucking saw that report today. I fucking lost my shit. Dickheads. Anyways, these cheap assholes. Yeah, they
always
can.
Ready to fight.
Yeah.
He's always ready to fucking fight. He always
anyways,
chooses violence.
These assholes were thinking of doing a loan with an option to buy, but we know these people aren't going to buy him for 30 million. This is Dortmund. Dortmund's going to pay 30 million pounds for a center back. In my freaking wildest dreams, that shit's not going to happen. That's going to be a loan where we don't know how much game time he's going to get, and then he's going to come back. We know that's going to happen. That's the thing. We don't know how much game time he's going to get in front of Slaughterback or whoever is going to be in front of him in Dortmund. And then we know that Dortmund's not going to pay the 30 million evaluation we have. And the report says it's going to be a 30 million with the sell-on fee. So if Dortmund sell eventually, we want a 20% or whatever it may be, like we did with Mark Gahey. You think Dortmund's going to do that for us? Hell no. These cheap assholes aren't going to do shit. So I think he needs to see the forest from the trees, hold it, be amongst the squad and stuff this season, and then have his chance to, hopefully Badiashile goes and he can play as a backup next season. Be more integrated to the squad, maybe get Maresca's trust more, because I don't know how much he's going to play in Dortmund as well, because he's not going to be starting center back either there. That's the thing.
It's interesting.
Who's echoing?
Oh, I can hear the echo.
Yeah, I can hear you. I was on mute.
Sorry, yeah.
I was muted.
Oh, alright, so whoever it was, big up to them. But yeah, as I was gonna say, I can't blame Veiga, because I feel like Veiga is gonna become, or Veiga, should I say, it's gonna be a symptom of a problem that we're gonna have if we keep on getting these young guys that keep on coming to our club, who are there to be backups. We talked about this. I remember. Coming guys, right? And that is going to be a symptom of that, because they're going to eventually want to get, developed, want to be getting some level of solid minutes. But if we can't give them those minutes, Conference League alone is not going to solve it, right? It's going to have to be some level of EPL minutes. Whether someone is obviously got a red card, suspension like a Kukurea, or if they can come on for the last 10 minutes 15 minutes in games, right, to go and get that necessary experience at times, or if a player becomes injured. If we're not willing to do that and do stuff like that, then guess what happens? Stuff like this is gonna continue to happen, right? And Veiga's not going to be the only guy that's going to happen to. You look at Casadei now is going to Torino. Now we can criticize Casadei for the level of skill he's at, whether or not he's good enough or not, but he's another one now, gone, barely any experience, 1 or 2 Conference League games, and everything like that. It's just gonna be, for me, a continuous cycle, and I don't blame him absolutely one bit for saying he wants to leave the club or even wants to go out on loan with an option to buy. Because the Veiga is the same player we brought in the summer. Nothing's changed.
Is anyone, out of curiosity, because I'm actually glad to hear that you guys kind of think the same as me in terms of this whole situation, because it did seem like a majority of the fan base agreed on the fact that he became public enemy number one, calling him a snake and all that. I mean, does anyone in the panel feel that way at all?
Yeah, he's a snake. He's leaving us out and dry. No left back.
This guy.
He's had what, 1,200 minutes a season? That's not enough. Conference
What are
League
your
game.
weaknesses?
The weaknesses?
Yeah.
Which is weakness?
It's not that deep.
Man.
It's not that deep.
It's not. He doesn't know weakness.
Okay. I'm not going to say he's a snake at all. I've said many times on this show and elsewhere that I think he's been hard done by and he's been underutilized by the manager. But I'm just looking a bit side-eyed at the whole thing where we're trying to say now, oh, but he actually didn't want to go on loan. But hang on, the first tweet said that you've agreed terms with Dortmund.
Yeah, is the part that goes the wrong way.
There are no terms to a loan. The only thing with a loan is agreeing the salary coverage from the parent club to the loaning club. So there's no terms in a loan. So to agree terms, it would have to have been a permanent sale.
It's too bro.
Maybe if Veiga thought that was the case, he had to like sign terms. I don't know. He's new.
I just refuse to believe. I refuse to believe a player's that stupid. I'm sorry. And having like having an entourage around you and like agents that I refuse to believe you confuse it. I refuse to believe you confuse a permanent transfer with a loan.
Sangria Drake would like to argue that notion.
Sangria Drake.
Yeah, man, Sangria Drake. That's our number one keeper, Sangria Drake.
Oh, okay. That caught me off guard.
But I mean, listen, he's young, right? He's what, 20 years old, I believe. He might even be less than that. 21. To an extent, I agree with Oliver, but I mean, it no longer surprises me the range of stupidity that a lot of players seem to have from time to time. We see it with Garnacho. We have seen it with Mudryk. We have seen it with Enzo. So it is very likely he just didn't know. I feel like, and someone said it, but I can't remember what it was. Like, and I thought like, oh, maybe that's a possibility. But I think there's something that he didn't know or it didn't work out, and he's now walking it back and trying to like play. What's the word I'm looking for? Trying to play catch up or trying to save his own skin by saying he never wanted the loan. Yeah, save face. Thank you. Yeah, I think he's trying to save face to an extent.
I'll be honest. I think this is what it is, to be honest. So, CP was talking about like Dortmund being stingy, and I think that's exactly what it is. We put a £25 million tag on his head, which would make him their 9th most expensive signing of all time. There's no way we're going to pull the trigger on that.
Yeah,
and Oliver, we want a sell-on clause with that 25 million. It's not just 25
and that too.
million.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hefty.
You think
At
Dortmund's
that
gonna be
point,
fine
it's
with
like,
that?
what the
They're
fuck
never
are we
gonna
going to
do
do
that
with
shit.
this? Yeah. We're going to give
Even
you
if they
money,
agree on
and then
the-
we're not going to make as much money on the sale. What
Yeah,
the fuck is this?
and the thing is an option to buy. So Dortmund could be like, yeah, we'll do all this shit.
I'm not
And
doing
then we'll do
after
something else.
Maatsen. We're not doing the option to buy thing again. No way.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying even if Dortmund do this, they're like, yeah, we'll abide by all these things you say. They can easily be like, yeah, we're not going to trigger that.
They're going to do the
option.
same thing they do with Maatsen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
but Maatsen they were never going to buy. Like, everyone knew they were never going to buy Maatsen.
Well, I mean, because of the performances he was
No,
putting up in the
they-
Champions League and stuff, there was a hope, right?
He had a £35 million release clause. That would have been their most expensive signing of all time.
It would have been their most expensive signing ever.
It's actually kind of crazy when you put it that way. It's actually
Like,
pretty
he-
crazy.
Dortmund are a stingy club. They paid £30 million for Dembele. That's their most expensive player.
Yeah, man. These cucks are willing to sell Bilo Giddens for, I bet you, pennies to Bayern, and then freaking won't even pay 25 million to us.
I said it on Twitter. They're an Italian club in disguise. Sell for the most, buy for the least. Literally.
Antonio Conte.
They're just black and yellow Bologna, man. Bologna is like a red and freaking
Shout out Bologna, man. Shout out Bologna, man.
different stripe color, man.
My home away from home. Shout out Bologna, man.
Man said his home away from home. Jesus
That's factual.
Christ.
That's I used to go there every summer, bro. And literally go there. Well,
Or Bologna or Dortmund?
No, Bologna.
Oh, okay.
Well, look at that. The more you know about Ahmed. There you go.
True man of culture, man. True man of culture.
A man of culture. What can I say?
Mr.
man?
Culture himself, man. Mr.
There we
Culture
go,
himself. Culture Nation. But anyways, let's go on. Yeah, the whole Veiga situation. The other thing that bothers me too about the Veiga situation, I'm not gonna lie, is the fact that you came into this club knowing full well that Cucurella was ahead of you. Like, it's not like you didn't know you weren't going to be a developing
That's
player
not
with
the
limited
issue, guys.
minutes.
Okay, that's not. No.
That's not the
That's not the
issue.
issue.
I know it's not, but like I know the biggest issue is that Maresca's not giving him minutes when he should be getting minutes, right? But at the same note, in the same notion though, it's like, okay, you're still not gonna be like a starting center back or a starting left back, not anytime soon. You have been playing in the Conference League, so it's not like you've been getting more minutes than what in other circumstances a team that were in Champions League would be giving you, right? So, it's another one where it's like, I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, like, what did you really expect?
Here's the thing, and also the reports today about Mark Gahey, like, we're not willing to pay 60 million, but if we pay 50 million, you basically have to pay 40 million because of the 15%. So let's say we still have time because there's only a 10 million difference between Crystal Palace's evaluation and what we would be willing to pay. Gahey can play on the left. He's going to be even lower in the pecking order because apparently Gahey is someone that Maresca wants. And Gahey is mostly a left-sided center back, obviously right-footed. So he would be even lower in the pecking order.
Yeah.
So I'm saying the second we are actually going to be serious about getting Gahey, like this club is like getting Gahey, try to sell Veiga right away because then there's no point. He's going to be, because he would be behind Caldwell. He would be behind Gahey. We would still have to get rid of Badia Shield. And then it's him. Or he is in front of Badia Shield. So where is he going to play? And he doesn't want to play left back anymore.
Which is weird. I think a lot of it has to do with the Portugal call-up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which is fine.
Well, I think from here we now have to talk about who we're getting as a backup left back because I'm sorry, Reece James and Malo Gusto, I'm not having that at all.
No, I agree.
That's ridiculous. That's embarrassing.
Damn, Scott.
Apologies.
I think for me, the issue is that
Scott's fighting for his soul.
Gusto's already struggling, as it is to invert from the right-hand side. What makes you think he's going to be able to invert from the left-hand side? Okay, this comes from like a Gusto defender. Reece James can only play 3 games in a row before he starts doing what Chris is doing right now and rehab.
That's a lie. He played 4. He played 4.
What? Disrespectful.
Sorry, he's gonna play 4 games and then do
get it right, man. That one game
no, it's gonna be more this time. You watch.
So,
maybe 5.
What?
Rest of the
season, like 4 games in 45 minutes, like 4.5 games, maybe 5 even.
You know what, Chris?
Chris?
We'll be there. Do you care though? Who will be there?
We'll be there, Chris.
Yeah, Chris. I was there during the beginning of the season when you said he would play more than 5 games. I was there.
We were there, Chris.
I was there. I was there.
Yeah, Chris, we were there.
I was there, Chris. I was there. And then you said,
Chris, when it happens again, we will be there.
Hey, we best be praying.
I was there, Chris. I was there.
We need this guy. We need him.
I was there.
Man City's the last game, Chris. We will be there. We'll be there. Last game of the season for Reece James.
I just think for me, I just think for me fundamentally, it's just criminal what is going on here. Like, and the thing is, like, I just don't understand what's going on because you know what's gonna happen, guys. They're gonna probably replace Veiga with another young lad, up and coming young lad, right? That we all know about, another 19-year-old or 18-year-old that everyone's gonna start glazing up. You know what I mean? Gonna have a nice little wank session over. Pause. Yeah. And then
Hey yo!
But that's what's gonna happen, boys. You know what's gonna happen. the ones Veiga leaves, you know what I mean? There's gonna be another like little wank sash over like the next up and
You
coming.
know who we could have
18,
used for
19
that?
yards.
Yeah, I'm already on it. With
No,
Fatso and Dorgu, man. I'm there.
Listen, it's gonna be Cisse and them already. Yeah, and then we're gonna be in the same situation again where these brothers ain't getting the minutes again. We're gonna be in the same situation, and then the same thing probably is gonna happen again. And then you know what's gonna happen? That's meant to be a circle for people to.
Oh, damn.
Chris, you know what I mean? That's why you shag sheep, innit? So that's why you think that circle is.
What?
Oh my god!
There we go.
What
was out of nowhere.
You want to check out?
Circle.
There we go, man. But like, no, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's just gonna be a continuous, like a nasty cycle. It's gonna be a nasty cycle, bro. Like, I'm tired. Like,
Talk about nasty, bro.
Don't worry, man. Marsh, you ain't seen nasty, so it's okay.
Ahmed, we're a big fan, man. Real Madrid have the whole 720 thing happen too, man. You know what I'm saying? So, lots of players, leave and join and stuff, young players.
Brother, but this is the issue is, and
Welcome to Casually FC.
Those guys, you know what I mean? Those guys are older players. Right now, our issue is that we've got that, bro. We're replacing younger. We're just doing child trafficking.
No, but what do you think? No, like, dude, Hakimi left.
We do not do that.
Real Madrid.
No.
There's so many young players that like so many young players left Real Madrid. Like Hakimi left. Like Theo Hernandez left. That we all want. All these players they left.
I get what you mean, but they're replacing them at the very least with top quality players. We're replacing the young.
Ferland Mendy is not top quality. Ferland Mendy is not top quality. Ferland Mendy
and Hakimi don't play the same position.
Yes.
No, I know. I'm saying no. They have Theo Hernandez technically.
But he's not bad, bro. But
yeah, at the time when they sold him, Ferland Mendy was better.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, regardless. Listen.
Yeah, he's injured.
Listen. Regardless, bro. At the end of the day, bro, he's still not a bad player. I just think for me, guys, at the end of the day, I'm getting tired now. You know what I mean? I think today's stream is I'm tired. You know what I mean, boss? You know, emotionally, wallahi, I'm just tired, man. You know, I feel like I get to this stage every season, like recently, where it's emotionally I'm just cooked. You know what I mean? I'm tapping. I'm almost tapping out, man. I'm almost there. But alright, man.
What would make you not tired? Like, what signing or sale would make you energized?
Well, let's actually hold on.
Just in case.
Well, we know that one. Let's actually.
It would be.
Let's head into possible solutions for Ahmed to be re-energized and what would wake Ahmed up. Because here's the thing: I think Ahmed's tired because of dopamine. The dopamine's not. That actually sounded really wrong. The dopamine has not been there, ladies and gents.
Listen, I'll be honest, Marshall.
We have been demonetized.
Yeah, wasn't even me. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
I have to be honest, Marshall, man. You're talking about dopamine rush and dopamine this. I'll be honest, man. I don't think I need dopamine rush or anything, bro. I'm tired of these transfers.
But Ahmed, wait, hear me out, Ahmed. Let me cook. I think you'll get a dopamine rush when you hear about, when you hear the for Ben Chilwell. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Why am I meant to be getting happy? We're making money on Chilwell.
You know what?
We gotta throw it. We gotta see what sticks. You gotta just throw everything. You gotta throw the kitchen sink at it. We're trying to get Ahmed re-energized.
You give him more energy.
You give him more energy.
He's more angry. That's some sort of energy.
Let's go.
Every day, man. You know what it is, man? Every day, man. We're just pocket watching. We're just pocket watching, bro. Every single day, we're just pocket watching. Every fucking time. You know what I mean? Every time, oh, guys, we got money in here.
Tic-tac.
That's what I fucking hear every single fucking time, bro. Wallahi, man, I'm tired, bro. Every time we're making profit on X, we're making profit on Y, 2.1.
He's so angry.
I can see this
Stop,
build
man.
all this earlier.
Stop,
Please,
Oh my!
This is a generational crash out.
Nah.
Oh, my side's fucking up.
I need to.
Every time, yeah, we become like fucking accountants,
Wow,
bro.
you're making me
The
laugh.
club
we're
has
learning
made me
stock
accountants.
trading, okay? Buy
I
low,
feel
sell
like
high.
the club
Come on,
has made
man.
me an accountant. I'm an accountant now, bro. I need to know how much is coming in and how much is coming out, bro. What the fuck is this?
We'll probably get 20 million for Chilwell.
What do you mean by that?
Yo,
bro, man.
Ahmed, think of this like your stock portfolio, man. Sell low, buy low, sell high. Sometimes we buy at the wrong time.
Think of the
what's
wages we're gonna
Woodbridge?
open up, bro. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
trying
like
to tell you.
250 million.
Yes, but the thing, no, I'm tired. I need to know that,
Think
bro.
of the profit.
Man, listen,
where's
RSM,
my
if you
pure
took
profit?
me to touch grass again, RSM, I was literally outside today having a fucking meal. Fuck off, man. Sorry, no. If there's anyone that touches grass here, I touch grass everywhere. I'm a fucking civil engineer. You know what I mean? I'm fucking outside, bro. Like 10% of the time. What are we doing?
Man, son.
I'm so hot right now,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to
No.
all the
It's a legendary crash out.
What makes it worse, yeah? Martin's talking about, oh, we're gonna get 250k a week on the books. Guess what's gonna happen? Oh, not an 80-year-old from fucking Argentina is gonna be getting some money to
You wait, stop. You said Paraguay. Be consistent.
Yeah, man.
Be consistent. You said Paraguay, bro.
Oh my
I
god.
can't trust these Ahmed sources anymore.
Aren't you excited to buy the next 16-year-old
Yeah, no.
for 20 million pounds, man? And him join us in 2 years?
all these young lads, bro, and then, oh, we're gonna buy Adeyemi
What do you
next.
mean by
If
that?
we get that fucking fraud, Adeyemi, wallahi,
Ahmed, I'm on you for that.
no,
You know that I
man.
did. Okay,
Genuinely, bro, it just, I'm just tired, bro, about needing to know about financial situation about this club, bro. Can we just run like a football club, please? I don't need to know about this,
Wait.
please.
Can you tag me in for this? Crash? Let me
Let's see.
tag you in. Okay. If this fucking football
Tag.
club loans, buys, thinks of buying, imagines buying fucking Afro Werner, I will lose my fucking mind. If we buy Afro
Afro Werner's
Mudryk,
crazy.
I will.
I ain't
He's
gonna
Afro
lie.
Mudryk and Afro. I am
Werner.
what?
Disrespectful.
And he's injury prone like Pulisic. How the fuck are you Timo Werner? What the fucking injury record of Timo Pulisic, dude? It is fucking insane, bro. It is fucking. We're deciding to get this dumbass at age 22 who plays left wing / right wing / striker. Freaking has a conversion rate of my nan. But no, we're not gonna get Bilo. These cucks are gonna give Bilogins to Bayern. So why the fuck aren't we going for Bilogins? He's scored 10 goals in the fucking league and he's 20 and he takes on his man and his pacey.
Are we
Why
on
the fuck
Cisco?
are we linked with Adeyemi? Why?
Oh,
Why the
I
fuck
mean-
are we linked with him? He has scored fucking 3 goals
I
and
agree
2
with that.
goals in the league for the past 2 seasons. How the fuck is this possible? We're supposed to be getting a quote-unquote goal-scoring winger. This dipshit has scored 2 goals and 3 goals in the past 2 seasons in the league. Are they fucking insane? What the fuck is through their brain cells? What? Look, tell me how that does not look like Afro Werner. This man is all pace. I swear to God. Wallahi is all pace. I fucking hate this guy. I watched this guy for the past 2 years. I have a family friend who watches Dortmund, and he's laughing at my ass that we're thinking of buying this dickhead.
Is he not good?
What is
for
with us and buying a people who are in their early 20s? Why the fuck can't we get the better 20-year-olds? Why the fuck aren't we getting Giddens, bro? Why? Why? Why the fuck are we linked with this dickhead as our winger from Dortmund? What is wrong with these people, bro? I told even Ahmed I lost my shit when I saw this report. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if it's a dry loan. Why the fuck are we gonna pay his wages even for this dickhead? He's still currently injured, by the way, people. He's been injured for 89 fucking days of this season. What the fuck are we doing? What is wrong with you? What goes through your fucking heads, bros? What? Oh my god! And we're not gonna try to go for Tel. We're not gonna try to convince Tel. But no, we're gonna go for Afro fucking Werner because we didn't learn. And not like we fucking have Timo Werner in this fucking league bottling shit up week in, fucking week out. At least Timo Werner scored 20 goals in his fucking league. This dickhead hasn't scored more than 3 goals in the past 2 years. 3 fucking goals. Chris with his fucking hamstring surgery could score more than this dickhead in the Bundesliga right now.
What's an hamstring?
Marshall.
I mean, probably
Marshall,
Marshall.
can I just say, I just want to say before you go, CP, the reason why I'm upset about talking transfers, RSM, can you go back to RSM's previous comment, if you don't mind, yeah? It's because the results are directly indicative of the poor transfers you've been doing. That's what it is. Why are we acting like this? Like, why are we acting like, yeah, the results are not indicative, a big part that's playing into what the reason why we're not doing so well is because of the poor transfer market that we've been having, particularly up front, and the lack of, impetus that we have there. We can't. We don't want to sign Osimhen because we don't want to give him the wages, for example, right? At the time, I wasn't a big fan of Osimhen, but in hindsight, that is poor. We couldn't even get the other option they wanted. They can't consistently keep on getting the big players that they need for this team. Come on, man. We need to have this discussion, bro.
All right. I mean,
one sec.
Everybody,
Let me continue this because these dickheads could have gone from Bayern in the summer who plays wing striker positions, who's in Dortmund too. Are they fucking deaf? Are they blind? Do they not have any senses? Fucking, I'm sorry. When he said Adeyemi, I forgot. Oh my god, sorry.
He's so angry.
Whole 10-minute rant.
And I'm not good enough. It's as simple as that.
Goddamn.
Okay. Now, let's take a breath. Let's get back to, let's find our Zen again, because I have had to expedite and accelerate the process, and we are now at the Adeyemi part of the show. Okay, we'll come back to what we were talking about before with Ben Chilwell and KDH.
Oh, right.
In terms of the Adeyemi links, all right. I have here, obviously, Plettigol and Burger. These are Plettigol, a French source, and
German.
Wait, German. Oh no, I'm thinking L'Equipe. Yeah, you're right. So Plettigol, German source. Burger, also another German source that was, had earlier in November linked us to Gittins and all that, and turns out he was correct about that. So, it's there. The German side of things is saying that we are interested in Adeyemi. The links were there, I believe, last year as well in the summer. But we continue on. Matt Law saying that Adeyemi is not one of the strikers / wingers Chelsea have made contact on for January or the summer. We also continue on, and remember, guys, there was a moment where Matt Law was a little bit questionable in terms of credibility because of how he was framing and contextualizing things. But let's hear him out in terms of, because lately he's been pretty more spot on. Slight adjustment. I'm told Adeyemi could be an option on loan if nothing else comes off. So I read that as more of like, this is a last resort option if we can't get another option out there. We continue on that as of right now, Chelsea are not negotiating to buy Karim Adeyemi for January or the summer. And lastly, as well, on this whole situation is Chelsea has a list of forwards / wingers they have made to contact with, including Matthias Tel. Karim Adeyemi could be an option on loan if nothing else comes off. So as far as I'm listening and hearing is, it's loan options. It's loan options. And to be honest, I don't know much about Adeyemi. I'm not going to sit here and say I do. I'm not an Adeyemi expert. I've only really seen Adeyemi in the Champions League last season, right? Had a good bit of games in the Champions League. I guess that was really his come to relevancy for a lot of people. And what I see this kind of being is more of a, oh, let's get someone of similar. I say similar very, very loosely. Profile to Mudryk, someone with pace. I personally don't want Adeyemi, a loan option. I'm sure there's better options out there for a loan if you're looking for a left winger. I am not gonna lie to you. I would almost rather take a Barcola on loan than an Adeyemi. I'm actually pretty sure I would take a Barcola on loan over an Adeyemi. But obviously, AHMED not happy with the links. Curry Pirate not happy with the links. Oliver, Chris, Scott, what do you think about this whole Adeyemi situation?
Nope, not happy. Not at all. And anyone in this fan base that is happy with it are only so because 3 years ago they saw him cook Enzo on the transition. Like, wow, what did he do?
3 years ago.
Because it's not like people don't do that anyway. But
Do you know where it is before I let the other guys go? Yeah, I think before we even talk about Adeyemi as a player, Adeyemi's injury list is very bad. Like, and we already
it's 3
have very
pages.
Yeah, it's
Really? Holy shit!
That's why I said he's Pulisic. That's why I said he's Pulisic injury with Werner.
So just before we even get to the talent level, his injury level is quite bad in the Bundesliga. This is obviously not excusing the fact that about the level of physicality that we have in this league, right? Compared to the Bundesliga, which is a little bit less physical in my personal opinion. So he's getting that much injured in that league, and you already got injury-prone players: Reece James, Lavia, Fofana. Even though with Lavia he's actually playing a bit more consistently, but he's been out for a few games, right? But the other two, Fofana and Reece James, Fofana's basically out for the season. Like, I don't know if you saw that report, but he's basically out for the season, and we know what Reece James is like. So at this point, it's just we need guys that are gonna be availability is the best ability from that aspect. And then when you go to his play style, is just very much reliant on his pace. He just relies on his pace a lot, right? He's got some level of shot power, but for me, his issue is that he shoots at the wrong angle a lot of the time. His position is not that great, but the thing that he relies upon to kind of make up for all of that is his pace, and that is a big problem.
What about the rest of you guys?
I don't want him anywhere near this football club.
I don't think any of us want him.
I saw all I need. Go on, Chris.
No, I was just gonna say I just think it's all bullshit. Anyway, when I first saw it, it's just completely.
To me, it does seem like
it
his
doesn't
agent's
make any
pushing the
sense
move.
because look at Chelsea, what they have. Like, we already have wingers like Sancho. Obviously, we had Mudryk. We don't have Mudryk anymore. Pedro Neto and Madueke. And to me, they got more used to Chelsea anyway, and he gets injured a lot, so we won't be really seeing a starting lineup by the sounds of it. So I think it's just all bullshit. If Chelsea did that, they're gonna be the most brain dead club if they actually bought him for whatever price.
Well, Chelsea Football Club at the moment.
Yeah. It's I personally wouldn't want him. Like I said before, I'd rather Barcola than Adeyemi. I think we should have a bare minimum level of standard when it comes to what players are going to loan, even if it is an opportunistic signing. Yeah. But I don't think the link is legitimate. It seems to me more of an agent push than anything. But then again, these were links that were happening last season as well. Hopefully it's only just a last minute option like Matt Law had said and nothing else. And even then, I hope there's 20 other players ahead of them in terms of that last minute option. Let's try to come back to this first part that I had here for you guys, which was a bit of an update on the KDH and Chilwell situation. So I'm putting them together because they've been paired up or associated with one another very often. So figure put them together. Chelsea are looking to loan out or sell KDH and Ben Chilwell, but nothing has even progressed with either yet. And this was as of 2 days ago. We've had a few more links show up, like this one right here from Team Talk, the 11th of January. So before that even came out, apparently West Ham boss Graham Potter, and this does make sense, is interested in signing Kieran Dewsbury Hall and Ben Chilwell from former club Chelsea. We continue on. West Ham are interested in KDH. He has not started a PL match this season and has played just over an hour's worth of PL football in total so far this season. Though he has made 8 appearances in the Europa Conference League, according to Sky Sports. We also have here Everton manager David Moyes is a fan of Chelsea pair Carney and Ben Chilwell, who could both leave Stamford Bridge on loan this month. This is coming from Matt Law. We continue on. Chelsea still hope to offload Ben Chilwell, but apart from initial inquiries, nothing is imminent. And as far as I'm aware, no discussions have been had, nothing really serious. Maybe something under wraps, hopefully, because I do think Ben Chilwell really needs to find his way out of the club. We continue on. Maresca also kind of doubling down as to why Chilwell is not going to be getting any minutes and not going to be playing for Chelsea at all. I don't like up and down fullbacks. The only game we did this was Palace, and this is obviously. I think a lot of this was in context to being asked about Ben Chilwell potentially getting another chance now if Renato Veiga were to leave. And yeah, it's just not. I don't think it's happening because this is essentially what Ben Chilwell is. He's just a fullback that just bombs up and down the wing, overlaps, and that's about it. And even at that, he's since last we saw him, he's really dropped a lot of his ability, and it's not been good enough. Maresca on why Chilwell has not played. First of all, because it's my choice. I can see Gusto or James or Cucurella doing different kind of job in the game. I think Chilwell is a top fullback doing the job up and down, but I struggle to see Ben doing different kinds of things. So essentially, very politely saying, Ben Chilwell, you're a very limited player in my system. There are other players that are more ability, more Swiss Army knife, if you want to call it that for lack of a better term right now, that I'd rather choose over you. And so this player needs to see his way out. KDH, another one that barely getting any minutes as well, probably needs to see his way out. A very useless signing that we said very early onset in these streams. But before I let it go to the panel, almost 30 likes on the stream. Let's see if we can get one more like just to get the 30 likes, guys. Obviously, Chris, I'll start with you, man. KDH potentially going off to West Ham. Chilwell also maybe some links to West Ham. Chilwell also with some links to Everton. Do you think any of it's likely, or are we stuck with Chilwell? Or if Chris is AFK, I'll go to Oliver. Oliver, what do you think, bro?
I mean, these players are surplus to requirement. It's clearly obvious. Dewsbury Hall, I don't know if you saw the reports, but the directors didn't even ask Maresca if he wanted him.
Oh wow, I didn't see the reports. That's insane.
It was kind of a thing where it's like, oh well, he was your ex-player, so have a gift without even asking him. It's stupid. These directors just never cease to amaze. But anyway, again, surplus to requirement. KDH, Chilwell speaks for itself. Just try and get these done, and at least with Chilwell, you've got potentially two options there: West Ham and Everton. I think you could probably do something with Everton. The problem with Everton, I read, is that they have too many players that are on loan at their club. What I would recommend in that case, because we can actually find a way out of this, cancel Broza's loan, because he's out currently with a 12-week ankle injury, so that basically takes him until mid-April.
Oh, and at that point, ended up being just an ankle injury?
Yes, it wasn't an ACL. It looked worse than it was.
It looked really bad, yeah. Thank goodness for him.
But it's still a 12-week ankle injury, so that's 3 months. His season's all but over. And mind you, at Everton, he's also got to compete with I think they have two other strikers, Calvert-Lewin and Beto. So there's a lot of competition there. I'd just bring him back. His season's pretty much done. Just let him recover at Cobham and try and sell him in the summer. And then that frees up a spot for Chilwell to maybe go to Everton. So just look into it, because these players, again, surplus requirement, it's best they leave.
Scott, do you think that's a good strategy to go about getting rid of this player? Because obviously it's very limited links.
I'll be sorry, I don't care where either of them go as long as they're not at this football club. They are both completely pointless, in this team. All whatever's going to be easiest. I mean, the West Ham one confuses me for Chilwell because he's not better than what they have, especially not in a back four. The Everton one, I mean, sure, but again, is he better than what they got? Mikalenko and someone else, I don't know who.
Yeah, I don't know who.
But yeah, like I don't know how we'd have to finagle it. Like maybe they buy Broja if they want to. I don't know if they would want to. If not, then yeah, we would have to terminate that loan and then loan them Chilwell. But yeah, as long as they're not here, like I don't care. Like they shouldn't be here. But unfortunately, Chilwell is on 200k because he's sporting directors and owners gave him a new contract, so he's here for another 2 years. Fantastic work, lads. He's here for 2.5 years, by the way. He's here till 2027.
But yeah, Bowley.
Congratulations, lads.
It wasn't the directors. It was very.
No, it wasn't sporting directors. It was.
No, it wasn't.
He got given the contract after January. He got given after January 2023.
I swear he got given the contract at the start of last season when he got made vice captain.
No, he got given it in March of the season.
I think it was a few months before that. Yeah.
It was March. It was the season before March.
Big up,
March 2023.
What a fantastic job by all people involved. Then KDH again. What a fantastic job by all people involved. I don't know if I believe that. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, lads. I don't know if I believe that thing, by the way, about the he wasn't wanted by Marissa. Like I don't know what to believe with any of this nonsense because I don't know if we're going to talk about Chalobah later on. I assume we are. The fucking briefings that came out about him try to insult our intelligence as fans. Oh my Jesus Christ. So yeah, just these guys should be at the club, and they should be swiftly followed by like five other players. But
RSM, obviously you just tuned in, but I think you get the gist of what we're talking about.
Yeah, I've been listening.
I know. Yeah, I know you agree. I know where you sit on this whole situation. Obviously, me and you have kind of been running the torch for the whole why was KDH, assigning here and what was the point of him before, it got worse where it currently is. But do you think the solution is potentially a West Ham move with Graham Potter, or do you think Chilwell is possibly likely to go to one of those, or what are your thoughts overall on this whole situation?
I mean, honestly, I'm of the same thought. Like, I don't really care where these guys go as long as they're gone. Like, I think even, I don't know if anybody watched the Man United game today, but you can see there's a player in Leslie, man. Like, there's something there that's better than what we're being offered by KDH, especially in the sense that, like, we don't need any more attacking mids. We need a more defensive-minded midfielder to be able to, come on and help out Caicedo or see out a game. Like, that's really where we're suffering, is when we get into that second half and people start getting leggy, we do not have a defensive-minded midfielder to put on the field, really, because he's not trusting Caicedo. We don't have that profile because we can't. Lavia is not fit enough to be able to do that job 24/7. We can't have that full confidence in it. So as far as I'm concerned, like Chilwell is beyond, like, I could not, like, I can't explain how much I could not care less about Chilwell as long as he's gone. Like, get him anywhere. If we get a single cent for him, it's even, like, we could even just let him go for free. Do you know why? Because it's just worth him being off the books. This brother is making money doing nothing for the club.
The problem is we had deals. Remember, Saudi might have been open, but this dickhead's like, no, I don't want to go to Saudi in the summer. That's the other problem too with this asshole.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like,
I kind of, that reminds me though. I kind of wanted to come back to this with Scott. Scott, well, actually, I think you do agree with this to an extent, but you don't think that. I think there is obviously a portion. This goes to Chalobah, which we will talk about Chalobah very soon, and Carney as well. I think there is a portion that it's obviously the ownership don't favor the player. They want to get rid of him. They don't want him to play anymore. Maresca listening to the ownership on it, right? But do you think that there's also an aspect of it, very much like kind of with like Raheem Sterling, where Maresca sees, bro, you are a detriment to what I want to do in this club. With Raheem Sterling, it was the decision making and the constant hero ball ego with him. Do you think with Chilwell it's just the latent, the obvious lack of ability?
Oh, he sucks. Like we've known he sucks since the injuries. Like he was never a great passer of the football anyway before the injuries. Like all you have to do is go back and look at old Leicester City tweets, and he's like the same player. It's just with Tuchel, when we had him, he was able to get the best out of him because he limited the amount of time he had on the ball, and he just got him in attacking areas. He basically used him in a similar way that like Conte had Alonso. Like he just sucks. Like it is what it is. He just sucks. Like he's a limited footballer who defensively isn't very good. I've said before, he's Alonso with a passport. He's Alonso with an English passport and just can't hit a free kick.
I
That's all it
remember
is.
when we had those debates, Alonso or Chilwell.
Bro, I take Alonso over Chilwell any day. Any day. Alonso's got a better, like his technical ability is way better. His ball striking ability is way better. Bro, they can't neither of them can defend.
Would have been the perfect backup 9.
Yep.
Alonso would have been
So
the
like,
perfect
yeah,
backup
so like,
9 right now.
He's just washed. The injuries don't help. Like everything, just everything. He's just such a limited player.
And I get it. Also, big up RSM. Your birthday's coming up, so happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday.
I'm glad it's before Chelsea games, so Chelsea can't disappoint you.
No, literally, you don't understand. I was like, thank God, bro.
Yeah.
Thank God, bro.
We're playing Monday.
Oh, what the fuck, man?
Yeah. So there's other stuff we can watch, I'm sure, that we were looking forward to watching. But yeah, so the whole Chilwell thing, obviously, it's an issue. Hopefully we get him off the books some way, somehow. Same thing with KDH. Hopefully these things are stronger than what they're putting off. But let's go on to another one that also gets brought up when it comes to these players, and that's going to be our boy Carney. So there's a few links that have been reoccurring. Doesn't look like much movement has been happening on this front, but let's discuss what we have in terms of an update in regards to this story. So Dortmund now seriously considering to sign Carney Chukwuemeka from Chelsea. They are exploring a loan deal, according to Plettigol. We continue on. Borussia Dortmund want to sign Carney Chukwuemeka on a straight loan, an option to buy or an obligation not possible due to Chelsea's valuation of £29.4 million to £33.6 million for the player, according to Burger PJ. Then we have here Carney Chukwuemeka could leave on a paid loan with salary covered and no buy option clause. Dortmund pushing, according to Fabrizio Romano. We also have here Chelsea have opened the doors for Carney's exit this month on loan. Borussia Dortmund are pushing, and another option is a loan to Strasbourg. This was a few days ago. We continue here with Fabrizio also saying that Carney will not be part of Chelsea's squad tomorrow, and that tomorrow was the Well, he wasn't on Chelsea's squad anyways. Doesn't matter. So, Maresca saying Carney won't be included in tomorrow's game. He is, this is more camp. He is a good player, but we have so many midfield players that he will struggle for minutes. And this is another one that I kind of don't understand how Maresca is approaching this in this manner. I think to me, it's the ownership wanting him gone, but we continue on. The latest in regards to the situation is Chelsea are now prepared to loan Chukwuemeka to Dortmund, albeit under the proviso that strict playing and economic conditions are agreed to. They also want it to be a straight loan with no option or obligation to buy included. This is coming from The Athletic, so a little bit of a reliable source. So the latest we have here is that we're trying to negotiate with Dortmund for just a loan for the player to develop, get playtime. I don't know if we're just waiting for the opportunity for someone to trigger that release clause and get the release clause money. That's where I'm inclined to think this is going. But I'm inclined to listen to what you guys have to think or have to say. Like, where do you think this is going in terms of Carney? We'll go with CP. We'll start with you, man.
It's not a bad loan. Honestly, a decent loan. It's Dortmund. Get some play time. Kind of like with Ian Maatsen. Show what you can do, and then from there, yeah, someone else can trigger the release clause because at least English teams can. He's an English player. He would have had Champions League experience, hopefully. Gotten some Bundesliga experience. So, yeah, that's all we can hope for. It can be like an Ian Maatsen kind of thing.
No, I get you. RSM, what do you think about Carney in this situation? It's a weird one.
I think they have no idea what they're doing. I think that these people have shown that when it comes to loans, what has really been a hit. Let's be honest.
Only Andrew Santos, and that was because of an accident, really.
And thank you. That's my whole point. Like they blundered into Andrew Santos being a good loan. For me personally, I don't see with them. I think they don't have, when it comes to loans, they literally have zero idea. They have zero hit rate. You can say like, okay, with young players, they've got some right, bro. With loans, zero. Like, I don't think that they know what they want to do with Carney. I think at this point they realize that they backed themselves into a hole where they have bought so many attacking midfield players that there's no longer a position for him. There just isn't. Because they have to, in their minds, they have to make the best of the investment they've already made. And they've invested more money into Felix and Nkunku than Carney. So Carney's been put on the back burner. They want to get the release clause, but they're not getting it without him getting playtime.
XL, that's a good point.
So
Petrovic's loan seems to have been working out, but that's
yes, it's also Strasbourg. I've said this before. If
yeah.
it's not Strasbourg or the club that the guy already played for, like look at the successful loans they've had. They had Hutchinson is like the only one where they sent him somewhere he wasn't, and it was in the Championship. He actually did well.
Yeah.
You have Cassidy at Reading was a good loan. Cassidy at Leicester was a good loan. They cancelled it halfway through for no reason. You had Mainoo, you just sent him back to the team he was playing at and then cancelled it after 6 months. Again, for no fucking reason, because where is he?
At Burnley, that's another good loan. But again,
Fofana was good. Yeah, no, fair play. He's now having a shit loan in Turkey, by the way, so that cancels that out. Also had a shit loan in Germany. Great.
Maatsen to Dortmund.
Yeah, Maatsen to Dortmund. But that was one where we wanted him to play and we knew he was good enough to play. And then we saw he was good enough to play.
Yeah. Overall, though, like I know what you mean, because overall it's been more negative loans than they have been positives, as far as we can tell. And some of these negative loans have been like really bad loans. I'm not gonna lie. You know, Ugochukwu's only just working out. Like we're lucky it's working out, and even then, like we still don't know what could happen to Ugochukwu in terms of a recall. Like things are very under wraps. There's a possibility it doesn't happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to change their mind.
I'll be real. Even the Ugochukwu one, like we need to stop sending relegation threatened teams, because like even if he's playing well now, bro, like what's he learning? I'm the best player I'm the best performing player on this team. Whoop-de-doo. We're getting smashed every week because we've got like no one good. Cool.
But hold on though. Like, can we have an honest conversation about this though? Does anyone actually think that Carney actually doesn't fit the Maresca system? Because the way I see it, I think he could play. He's just you got Cole Palmer ahead of you.
No,
like if it were up to me,
the issue isn't about Cole Palmer. He could be the Enzo role.
He could be the backup Enzo role.
Okay, yeah. I could see that.
No, I think he could fit in the team. They're just not looking to do that at all.
Let's just be honest, boys, man. You know what I mean? They you know what I mean? When the moment you had the 40 million release clause in his contract, that was the exclusive news from Fabrizio. You knew they were trying to sell this brother. But the problem is, when you are trying to sell someone, you have to make sure they're playing, because at least then people can see what they're getting for the bang for their buck. This brother's only played one Conference League, if not two, if I'm mistaken.
But Ahmed, that's the thing that's confusing,
so,
right? Because
so
like,
for me,
if you want to sell the player, right, and you want to activate that release clause, why not give him more Conference League?
Well, then, because these brothers are incompetent cucks. It's really as simple as that, bro. There's no other way to put it, bro. Like, listen, it's just how can you demand 40 million from someone and then the guy's not even playing? It's almost the same argument you can make with some of the other players that they're trying to sell. Barely playing, when we're not seeing the opposition teams are not seeing enough from them. So then how can you demand that fee from them? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, it doesn't make sense to me sometimes, some of the fees they're putting on some players, because it's like, I get you were able to the Fugazi on Mason Mount, Kai Havertz, etc., but there's going to be some players, some positions, and some players when they are playing, they have to be played so that we can see what we can get, bro. You know what I mean? Like, we need to. That is just. What is it that they say? You need to see what you're gonna get, right? You need to see what you're gonna get.
By the way, this is jokes to me. By the way, like what Vic said, because I think this is probably part of it. You gave him the fucking contract to begin with.
Yeah.
Like this ain't a Havertz thing, or it's not a Mount thing.
Didn't he get signed that one window where we were just giving everybody
the Bowley window.
It was a Bowley window.
Yeah, like this isn't a thing where he was here before you signed him. Like that, I would understand. You signed him and gave him that contract.
I would say Bowley did, but not sport. I wouldn't put this on sporting directors.
No, it's not the sporting directors. It's on the owners.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Why do you
Like,
even need to? What I don't understand is why are we trying to sell him even for 40? Guys, this brother just had a type of injury where he needed to learn how to walk again, bro.
Ahmed, we need to sell him for 40 because we bought him for 20. Like, that represents good profit.
But why not just sell him for 30 million, bro?
Don't say profit. He's gonna crash out, bro. If you say profit, he's gonna crash out. Careful.
It's a release clause,
Put the
Ahmed.
gun down.
But Ahmed, the thing is, you need to sell him for profit.
Walk back from the ledge, Ahmed.
But you need to sell him for profit because otherwise, what's the fucking point?
Again.
Ahmed, I'm with you, but it's like, bro, like, there's no point selling him for like 20 mil.
Left on this deal, bro. The reason why I'm laughing is like the fact we have to sell everyone for profit. You're not gonna make profit on all these guys. You know, realistically,
Ahmed, we have to. Otherwise, none of this makes sense. We have to make profit on these guys. Otherwise, none of it makes any fucking sense.
But it's a 30 million profit, bro. But it's a 30 million profit.
Ahmed, if you think about this, think about
20 to get him.
No, but
it's still 10 million profit, bro.
No, I know, but wait, Ahmed, listen to this. Okay, Ian
Giving up 30 million, bro. That's the issue.
Ian Maatsen had a shit first half loan last season, right? And then he got the Dortmund loan. They started balling out, and then release clause was met.
But what's to say he starts balling out? But listen, we're doing like, listen, I feel like, I know what you're saying, CP, and like, I hear you, but that can also be a fantasy trip too, bro. You know what I mean? For all we know, he might flop at Dortmund.
No, I agree. But Dortmund's the best avenue in terms of if you want a young player to showcase themselves because they allow.
I get what you mean, though. Yeah, I hear what you mean.
And to increase value. I think this is the best one we can go for.
You know what I would say to you, bro? Though, like, I still question if when he goes there and he does well, is there going to really be a team that's willing to pay 4-0 for him just because he played well for half a season?
Yes. In England, yes, because people have the money. People played, dude. Amari Hutchinson, just for playing well in the championship, got us 20 million. Imagine a guy who's going to be playing professional Bundesliga, even if it's for 6 months, and he's going to be playing Champions League, even if it depends on how many games, how far they go, but he's going to be getting maybe Champions League minutes on top of that. A mid-tier team could easily be like, yeah, he's English, he's still 20, 21, he now has Bundesliga top flight experience, played X amount of games, and has Champions League experience. They could sell him. With England in specific, yes. In Germany, fuck no. In Italy, no. But in England, yeah, dude, come on. We're getting so many Dude, Brendan Johnson went for 50 million, my guy.
So
guys, I just looked into it because we were just talking about Ben Chilwell. Scott was right. This article where he resigned came out in April of 20. I just had it. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was in
2023.
Yeah, April 2023, and he is on contract until 2027.
They boosted his contract by extra 2 years.
2 years,
yeah. And he's bro, and that's what I'm saying. But these sporting
directors were in, but they didn't have a plan.
No, sporting directors, owners, like they're all fucking stupid. Like,
there's just a lot of things that don't make any sense.
When it comes to business, these men are like, I can't fault them. When it comes to business. When it comes to football, you are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know,
like, how are you renewing some guy's contract, giving him 200 grand a week, and then trying to sell him literally like a year later, 6 months later? How are you trying to do that? Because no one's buying him. He's on 200 grand a fucking week. You're now trying to sell a guy that you bought for 20k, for 20 mil, and bought 100 grand a week. You're now trying to sell for double that, and no one wants to buy him because he's on 100 grand a week, and you're trying to sell him for 40 mil.
And nobody's seen him, bro. When's the last time somebody like even if let's pull up the tape?
And I'll be honest, man. When he's been playing recently, bro, that first touch.
Carney went to Kazakhstan.
Carney's
bro,
first
they
touch,
put him
Carney's first touch is cooked, bro.
And
it's
dry to freeze, bro.
Bro, I've got a better
they literally put
Carney.
Carney out there to freeze. He's like, you're gonna be the sacrificial lamb for Chelsea at Kazakhstan,
Carney,
bro.
I've got a better first touch than Carney in his current state, bro.
I'm telling you, it's unfortunate because I told you the injury did him so dirty, bro. The injury did him
But
dirty.
also the playtime. He has such limited playtime. How can you improve or get like in form when you're so limited on playtime?
It's not just that, bro. He had to learn how to walk again too, bro. Right? That's something that I think we keep love to forget about when it comes to Carney. Had to learn how to walk again, bro. This guy's come back from a very, very bad injury, and we're not even giving him like the minutes to at least reset himself. I just think for me, at the end of the day, you're not gonna get your value for money from Carney. So I would just say cut your losses. I couldn't care that. Like respectfully, we need to then listen. If you're a businessman, you also need to realize in your head when it's time to cut your losses. Yeah, with Carney,
but we're doing that with every
Benjamin Chilwell. Well, listen. I wonder why that is. Maybe it's time for you guys to sit down. You know what I mean? Let's get a book, guys. Let's look at why things are going wrong, and then maybe we'll start making the right decisions. Then, shall we?
Well, I don't trust them to make the right decisions. We're doing that with every
and that's where again, Scott, that's where again it comes back to the ownership being incompetent themselves and not realizing they have got are shit. That's where this comes down to again. Where it comes back to again, you know what I mean? We keep on doing the same cycle that we did last season where we're talking about these directors, like, oh, these guys are so trash. Why are they still here? You know what I mean? And then it just comes back again to the guys that are above.
I hate to say this, and I'm only saying it because this might be something that people who haven't heard me say it need to hear. I think when it comes from the business standpoint of this whole situation and the whole project situation of this, right? It's one of those things that right now, for us, in front of us, because we don't know the details, because we're seeing what's happening in the now, that the owners probably just want to see, okay, I don't know what's going on because I don't know football. You guys are the ones I hired. I'm going to assume that this is the right move, although it seems like the fans or the reaction and consensus is bad. And we'll assess this in the summer and see if you made the right move. It's like, listen, sometimes when, and maybe some of you have gone through this, I personally haven't, but I know people do. Sometimes you don't get fired immediately. Sometimes you get fired at your end of the year assessment. When you see, okay, this is everything you've done wrong. I don't think you're qualified for this position anymore. I'm sorry, we're going to have to ask you to resign. It could be one of those situations that the ownership are waiting to see, okay, you guys said you had a project. You said you had a plan. You said it was going to take you 2 years. You said it was going to take you 4 windows. Let's see how this plays out. We will assess the situation at the end of the summer, how we assess Poch. The directors are going to do the same thing. And if it doesn't work out, if it looks bad, I'm sorry, we're going back out on the market. George Mendes or whoever, you guys know people, recommend me some directors I can get, some people that can fill in this position, or Sam Jewell, step down from your position, take this position, or, you know, take this position with you as well. And maybe they're going to assess it. Because right now we can say they need to get sacked, all this and that. Who knows? Maybe this whole decision to do all this works out. I don't know.
But
that's just me feeding a hypothetical into the air.
You know what I have the issue with that, because I know what you I know what you're saying, right? In the VR reviews, etc. I get what you're saying. The problem is football cannot work this way. You can't do these end of year reviews in football because particularly when you're at the top level, things move fast. Particularly when there's either a deteriorating situation or a situation that you may need to take advantage of. Right? You can't move slow. I don't like to. I think this comparison is not gonna necessarily fit 1-to-1, but like I like to think of football, particularly when you're at particular top level. It's almost like a government, bro. Right? Yes, I mean, you're gonna have long-term objectives. But also when you're brought in, there's some short-term. You're gonna have some short-term stuff that you need to get right straight away, right? Because and I remember this is stuff I've spoken about before. If the short-term is not fixed, how can we talk about the long-term, right? The problem we are having at Chelsea is that we've become too fixated. At least these guys, in my personal opinion, have become way too fixated on the long-term approach, and not realizing in order for us to get there is going to be a necessity for us to get some of the short-term correct. That's where I've come from. That's where I'm coming from more than anything else. And that's
I agree
on the football pitch and everything like that.
That is one way to look at it, but there's always the other notion, right? Which is like, okay, results in football come gradually, and then they also flip over as well. Like, who's to say from this point forward we start to pick up form again and then we're comfortably back in the top 4 position? It's again like one of those things that it's easy to be reactionary in these scenarios, but from the ownership point of view, they were very patient with Potter. They were very patient with Pochettino. I don't see any different scenario when it comes to the owners or the sporting directors. They're going to be patient. They're going to see it out. And if it doesn't work out, well, that's 2 years wasted under the directors. and we're just gonna have to deal with it, unfortunately.
Where I disagree with you on the firing thing, Marshall, because I kind of understand that. The issue is they should have been fired after that summer window. Like, how do you fail bringing a striker, and how do you fail addressing key areas in the squad? How do you fail in terms of the signings that you made? Like, they should have been sacked in the summer. Like, the fact they're still here is an indictment of how bad we are in the moment in terms of, like, on a recruitment basis from, like, just what we're doing. Like, I'm tired of these guys, man. I'm tired of these guys. Go and get me someone that actually knows what the fuck they're doing.
I don't disagree, right? I just want to get that out there. I don't disagree. There's a lot to criticize with the directors and all that. I do not disagree whatsoever. However, we're looking at it once again, I'm saying, from the now. If we remove the last 6 games, let's say we had this discussion prior to the Everton match, then the discussion is totally different, because before we were saying how, we were having discussions how Jackson is potentially one of the best overall strikers in the league. We're having discussions how, the recruitment has been looking pretty good so far. So on and so forth. We had really good depth. So you say in the summer, and I agree to an extent too, because the Pochettino era was really bad. Things looked like there was no plan. The summer looked a little bleak in terms of, like, we didn't get Osimhen. We took forever to get a few deals done. The whole Duran saga. There was a lot of drama. The whole Gallagher situation. Had they fired the directors at that time, who's to say we wouldn't have gone into that good, run of form that we went into? And who's to say if we would have even been in that whole discussion of, title race, because we were in top 4. Like, in the beginning of the season, we looked good.
Marshall, how is it different 5 games ago? Because we still signed Dewsbury Hall, who... You're not telling me that after 5 games winless, we've decided, now we're going to sell Dewsbury Hall. It wasn't because these 5 games, he didn't even contribute.
It's not that. Like, yeah, there were questions to be had there. But
and they still signed Ben Chilwell to that contract. There's so many things that, even overlooking the results, many mistakes.
I don't disagree with that. Like, 100%. I agree with you on that. Like, there were still questions to be had. But what I'm just trying to get at is that, we weren't having this discussion of firing the directors before these bad run of form. Before the bad run of form, we were questioning them and what they were doing, but overall, the consensus looked like we were generally heading in a positive direction. And that we were kind of happy that they didn't get sacked, because then we don't get Maresca. We don't go into the good type of change of form. We don't start heading in the right direction. Right now, it looks bad, obviously, but there's just context to it, in my opinion.
The thing is, I don't think anybody ever approved the directors. It was just like when we had the good results, people just didn't care. They could care less about it.
Yeah.
But now, when we clearly see, like, the losses and the fact that, a lot of it comes down to the squad building that did not happen in the summer. The spotlight gets put back on it because the results aren't there to cover over it. I mean, that happens with everybody, to be honest.
Right. And Marshall, by the way, every point that you've made there in terms of what they did, like the thing with Jackson, even when Jackson was performing well, we were still asking for another striker.
Yeah, that's true.
We still said we needed another striker.
Backup. Yeah.
The squad depth, I've been complaining about the squad depth since Newcastle. Since we got knocked out by Newcastle, I've been crying about the squad depth. The defense has been shit all season.
Yeah,
and it's still shit. Even though the starters have improved, the depth sucks. The fact that we've got an 18-year-old as our 3rd best centre back this season is embarrassing. Who's a right back, by the way. He's not even a centre back. He's a right back playing centre back, and he's our 3rd best centre back this season. Like, it reeks. And like this is stuff we've been I mentioned in the summer. It's just, and not even just me. This is stuff that got mentioned earlier on this season. This is stuff that got mentioned before the January window, and this is stuff that is getting mentioned now, technically 17 days into the January transfer window. This is not new. This stuff has been happening. It's highlighted, like it's like RSM said. It's highlighted now way more because we are on this losing streak. But this stuff has been there. It's just been because Jackson was scoring, the striker thing wasn't focused on as much. Still needed one, it wasn't focused on as much. Because Sancho and Neto were doing bits, no one was talking about how we needed a goal-scoring left winger. But we do. Because everyone in midfield was performing, no one was talking about the fact that, we probably need some midfield depth because KDH isn't playing and he sucks anyway, and Caicedo and Enzo are running themselves into the ground. No one was talking about the fact that our centre back options suck.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a lot of covering of the cracks, is what you're implying, which is very true.
I think for me, you know, it's usually through losses, right, where you're able to see what goes right and what goes wrong.
The deficiencies, yeah.
Right. So it's better. I think when you're winning, it allows you to hide those weaknesses. But it's still. But a lot of us were still speaking of. Obviously, I think KDH was mentioned quite a few times about how poor he's been when he's played for us. He was talking about Nkunku in the 9 and how it wasn't working out when he was playing for us. If you remember, I know you've been a major critic of him in the number 9 position. If I'm not mistaken, Marshall, is that correct?
You're not.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just wanted to remind myself of that one. Who also? Disasi. Everyone just crashes it on him on a weekly basis. Bad issue on the Conference League. We were not happy with at all. Sanchez has always been Sanchez. Right. So there's been a large majority of these guys that we've spoken about on a consistent basis. Even Jackson. There were games where he played really poor that we spoke about, but I remember the other guys were the guys were the first tie.
Wolves too. Forest, he wasn't that great beginning of the season either.
Wolves, he wasn't that great. Nottingham Forest, he wasn't that great. Even some of the other fixtures afterwards, where you know he wasn't really produced. He was producing, but then you know what's the word that I'm looking for? He had the. He was having the GA, but not the performance. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, the results were there, but not the performance. Yeah,
exactly, right.
Yeah, so, and I get it. Like, I still hold that I'm gonna be patient in terms of being overly critical on the directors, just because I do want to see it out. I want to see this whole season out because you never know. This is football, right? Like. We literally just saw in today's match an example of football just footballing, right? I thought United were going to lose, just straight up, and then all of a sudden,
3-0 first half. Let's be honest.
Southampton were dominating United, and all of a sudden, Mainoo FC AHMED FC shows up, and the guy scores a hat trick in the last 10 minutes of the match, and all of a sudden, we're gonna look over it's papering over the flaws,
the cracks,
the cracks. Maybe things turn around. Maybe things get worse. You know, maybe we crash out. Maybe we drop down to 10th again. I don't know. I don't want to even manifest that. But I'm just saying, like, I do want to see it out. And I do want to assess it again at the end of the season. And then I'll make
at this point, like, having a conversation about sacking the sporting directors isn't even going to be... like, there's a point in having it, right? But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because it's not happening until the summer, bro. Like, it is what it is. We're midway through the January window. Like, these brothers are going nowhere.
No, 100%.
We have to have the conversation now though, because if we sack them in the summer, then they have to start planning from July. Then whoever comes in as the new sporting director starts planning from July. We have no plans going into the summer.
No, it'd have to be before them. That's what I'm saying. Right now, they have to finish the window. Like, that's what I'm saying. We can cry about them not wanting to be here, but they're gonna see this window through. It is what it is. That's what I'm.
No, they're gonna see this window through, but they need to be sacked before the summer.
Hey, and that's saying you can have that conversation, but I'm just saying anybody who realistically thinks that they're not gonna we sack them right now, get new people in, and get all this, like, it's not happening.
No,
of course not.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
I just think from like obviously a future perspective, right? I think that's what we need to be thinking about, right? They should not be here next summer. Does that make sense? I think that's the approach that we should really be having.
And
these guys should not be here next summer. I'm not saying sack them now, sack them in January, February, but by next summer, we should be on our way with these guys and bringing in 2 new guys that can do that job.
Again, though, hold on.
Or just demote them to scouts, because they're not that bad at getting scouting youth. They just can't be trusted with making the decision to actually pull the trigger. They can't.
I'll be honest. I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of them. I just want them at my club.
But let me ask you this,
you can be sick of them, but it doesn't deny the fact that, like, in terms of actually scouting young talent, they have an eye for it. They just can't be trusted to pull the trigger. They need some, like, they should be demoted. That's it. They should just be demoted to just scouting youth. That's it.
They're not even our best youth scout though. Our best youth scout is Shields.
Shields is more of like a connection guy.
No, I'm not counting Joe Shields as a youth when he's linked with or connected with every Man City graduate.
Well, that's my point. Like, he's a connections guy. He's not necessarily. He's a connections guy.
Because of Joe Shields, we're linked to Palmer, Joe Shields, Lavia, Joe Shields, Tosin, Joe Shields. Milo Gittins was a former City graduate. Joe Shields, fuck off. He's not doing jack shit with scouting.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's just a
When we're
connections guy.
criticizing these directors for only going to France for Lawrence Stewart and only checking the French league and not or going back to Monaco, Joe Shields is doing the exact same thing, just with Man City's academy.
But let me ask Ahmed something, because Ahmed brought up the whole, as of right now, Ahmed is saying he would sack him in the summer. Ahmed, let me ask you this. Before the summer. Let me ask you this, Ahmed. If we, as Chelsea, get the results we're supposed to, right? If we, get the victory over Everton, but some people say we're going to get the draw, so I'll give you that. Let's say we still draw against Everton. We win and we hold out the victory against Fulham. We end up actually playing like the way we're supposed to against Ipswich. We get a victory, right? Bournemouth, we hold out, we get the result, and we get a victory on that as well. What was the other game too? Crystal Palace, we hold out, we get a victory. Are you still holding that opinion that in the summer these guys got to go?
Yes, because again, the issues still remain, Marshall. That's the problem. The problem is, it's not necessarily for me the issue with results. It's a fundamental issue in regards to recruitment, right? And then also the guys that they're bringing in to then sell on it's also not working, right? So it's their actual job that is the problem right now. Yes, they may have brought in one or two good players. We can give them their credit, that is true there. But the other stuff that's around it and surrounding it is the big problem right now, Marshall. Does that make sense? It's the overall job. It's the overall job. We can't just look at who they're bringing in that's working. You have to look. A sporting director's job is more than just one thing. It's a collective situation, bro.
I understand that. And again, I as of right now, like I said, I am going to hold out to the summer to make my decision on this. And I understand where people are coming from about doing it now because you need to give the other directors more time to build a plan and be ready for the next summer. Where I stand with it right now is that I feel like we're very, very focused on the negatives in the situation, where I do want to bring in some of the positives in it as well. Prior to those games that I just mentioned, Maresca looked like a home run, right? So we gotta keep it consistent. That we need to give Maresca time to see if he is going to be that home run we thought he was. We do like the system. The football is there, but the clinicality isn't there, which we weren't seeing. We did like the move for Jadon Sancho. It was a steal for 20 million to buy that player. Neto, we like that move as well. We know Neto's a talented player. Madueke, I don't know where you guys stand on him overall, but I think there is a player there. I think most of us can agree there's a player there that's still developing, and he's been improving season in, season out. Cole Palmer, great signing. We all understand that Nicholas Jackson has the potential to be a really good striker. We just want another striker to give him a rest as well. Guiu for 5 million euros, not a bad signing in my opinion. I think you guys can agree. I would say
Gusto before this season. I would say Gusto
before this season's not a bad shout. Enzo's turning it around. Caicedo's turning it around. I guess who else do we want to turn to? Lavia turned out to be a good signing as well. It just injury prone, unfortunately, but he looks like a really good player. And I think that's it, right? Like about 10 pros in that one. Like there have been some good parts to the signing.
But that's why I told you, like, just demote them, bro. Like they can't be trusted with making those higher level decisions of management.
No,
like Ahmed is saying, they literally they need to be demoted to just have the one thing they're good at, and that's it. Because everything else, they're disastrous at, bro. Disastrous. Like, and the thing is, like, people are just like, let them leave the club. You realize that like people are gonna say, hey, these guys are really good at scouting. Why don't we bring them in as scouts? And now we're in the mud. We lost the scouting department. They're going to bring their knowledge and everything else to somebody else. It's not like the targets that they had in mind just evaporated. They're going to keep that in mind. They're going to start bringing those targets to another club. I'd rather just demote them, bro.
But the problem is, though, are they going to accept being demoted? That's something that we're not thinking about either, right?
Well, that's why you make the...
Because you're taking them from being sporting directors to being scouts. That, yes, you're demoting them, but some people are going to be like, no, I was a sporting director. I still believe I should be that. And then they could also be like, listen, you know what? I want to leave the club too. I'm just talking about that from like a job perspective. Sometimes, bro, some people do not take the emotions lightly and are unlikely to leave a company. That's like a general thing. But
the other, and I meant to add this onto it, and it kind of goes towards RSM is saying, like, who's to say by getting rid of them, they don't go and improve another club? That's one aspect, and it could be a competitor for as much as we know. But the other aspect of it too is that, and it could be a competitor. I'm just saying, like, look at how Veiga went to. No, hold on, real quick. Let me just land because there's one point that I want to land on this, right? You know how Veiga went to United, Scott. You know, they can go to a competitor, and who knows, maybe they improve because that competitor has a different approach than our owners. And this is where I want to come back to the owners. Who's to say that the next hiree for the owners isn't actually worse than what we have now?
The only way it can be worse is if they get someone like from a lower club with less experience. It's hard to do.
We kind of did
Arsenal,
that because we went for Monaco and Brighton, right?
This is what Arsenal fans do with Arteta. What happens if the next manager is worse than Arteta? Well, also the next person could be better. We're not doing this. We're sounding very much like Arsenal fans with Arteta.
I mean, I wouldn't even go as far as saying Arsenal fans, bro. That's what people were saying about Poch. Like, you don't even have to go to Arsenal, bro. People were saying the same thing about Poch.
And we said, well, we don't know who
what magical teams are these guys going to once they get sacked that they're going to improve?
That's a good
point. But I'm saying, like, as sporting directors, I agree. But if they get sacked and another team hires them to be scouts or lead their scouting department, or whatever, they're actually decent at that. That's my whole point. That's what they're actually good at.
If they go back to Brighton or go to Fulham or something, yeah. But like, they're not going.
For example,
to...
I'll put you right now a big thing. Right now, United are starting the same thing. They got this kid from Paraguay who's really young, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there are a ton of teams that are starting to shift their focus. We need to build bigger squads because people are becoming more injury prone. The only way to build bigger squads and still retain talent is to buy these kids young. So United's about to go through that rebuild, bro. I'm telling you, they're going to be snatched up. They're not going to go to a Fulham because they've already had too many hits here at Chelsea. They've shown when they got money and they got access, they're going to be snatched up by another.
But I'll be honest though. But can we be honest about this? Yeah, and I'm gonna be a little bit honest here. The reality is, yeah, you're gonna sometimes in football you lose good talent, right? In terms of scouting, whatever it may be. But it's about you bringing in better talent. That's what it comes down to. You just gotta make sure the next point director you bring in is the right one and it's a hit. That's what it is. Literally, you guys, we can use an example right now of a manager that's basically like that from our own club perspective. They made the wrong decision in the signing Poch, but then they brought in Maresca, and for all intents purposes, Maresca is a hit. Yes, we can criticize some of his in-game what's it called? Substitutions, right? But in general, he is a hit in terms of the way he plays, how we play, and how we look on the field. So you can make a mistake, but then you've shown that you can improve on that mistake. That's what I'm saying, Marshall. Like, we can do that too for the sporting director department. I get your point, yeah, of talking about the attackers they've done well on, which I also agree with. But at the same time, we can then just look at the other side of it. You know, on the other side of the field, Cassidy, what's it called? Yeah, Sanchez, Jorgensen. You know what I mean? Disasi, Tosin, etc. Right? So we can. I feel like for me, there's clearly like a balance in, like, it feels like for me, they definitely can identify attacking and somewhat midfield talent, right? But when it comes to some other departments, it's not working out for us here at the end of the day. And I feel like Chelsea right now, we are a big club, but we understand that, yes, we may have been out of some of the stuff for the last 2 to 3 years, but we need to also be making sure we've got guys there that are the best of the best, not guys that are improving on the job. But
here's the thing. The one thing I will give RSM is, like, okay, if you think of Liverpool's setup, if they get rid of their guy who's currently sporting director, because Michael Edwards is above all of that, right? Overseeing, right? So if they get rid of their current guy because they haven't signed jack shit, you're telling me Liverpool, who is pretty stingy with their budget, but good at, like, with Michael Edwards choosing who they need to get. Imagine them paying 40 million for Duran, getting that deal done, or with Sam Amradian, right? Like, if these guys were just like the quote unquote, like, being under the tutelage of Michael Edwards and these guys were scouting in Liverpool's hands, hell yeah, I would be scared. If you're saying, like, that's the thing where it's like, I think, Scott, I know you hate them, but you gotta, because I'm sorry, we some of these people, Andre Santos, who are raving, ranting, saying he's gonna be a world beater, is what? Chosen by them, no? Right? He is chosen by them, right?
This is my thing.
Like,
the
world beater is chosen by them. We've handled him the wrong way. That's on them as well. But they have chosen him. Santos was chosen by him. they convinced Esteval in front of Real Madrid and Barcelona and every other side.
That's
Like
true,
a Brazilian
actually.
talent
That's a
rated
very good
as high as him, which is basically the next Neymar, higher than Vini.
And remember,
when he was
everybody's
bought.
asking, what are they telling these players that they keep coming to us? Like, what is the project
right?
that they're selling?
Like I'm saying, this guy, think about it. A Brazilian player who's rated as highly as he is in Brazil, with the talent that he has in Brazil, is choosing an English side.
I don't know if this
When they
is
would
a
automatically
W.
go to Spain.
I don't know if
Automatically
this is
go
a
to
W just because I'm just saying it's pure ignorance, but based on when I last checked, now we're looking at us passing up as Endrick as a potential, like, wow, we dodged a bullet on that. And that was their decision to pass up on Endrick, if you guys remember as well.
Yeah.
Because of the price tag. You know,
and this hold up, and this is nothing that I need to say. Like maybe some of you don't know, but there's this thing called a non-compete. Do you know what a non-compete is?
Yes.
A non-compete is, see, you understand. So a non-compete is when you sign for a place, they literally say, when you leave us, you are not allowed to go to work for
It's
a
like
direct
gardening
rival.
leave, RSM. In England, it's like gardening leave.
Yeah. So you're not allowed to go to work for a direct rival for X amount of time. And you know what companies do that? Companies like Google, right? Companies like Meta. Why? Because they do not want their talent leaving and going immediately to a direct rival and taking all that experience and taking all of the things that they had directly in their mind to a direct competitor. Why? Because it's not a good idea to just let that go. That's what I'm saying. As much as you can hate them, I would rather just demote them. Because I agree, I think a new sporting director could take us up levels. I agree, we need somebody to actually be a sporting director who understands offense, defense, planning for the present and for the future. We need that desperately. That's what we need. We already have the youth part done. Stop it. We need the other part. Somebody who has the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to do that. I 100% agree with that. However, letting them go is a thing where we're looking so short term that we hate them right now. That long term, when you look at Liverpool that's about to go into rebuild, you look at Man United that is in a rebuild, do I potentially want these people with their scouting knowledge and their scouting access and their network going somewhere else? There's also going to have a big club that's going to give them money. I'm not talking to Fulham or Brighton where they're working with pennies, where they have the money to build a real scouting department and actually get these signings across the door. I don't know if I want that. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know if I'd want that.
Because we've never had this reach in South America until then, by the way.
No, bro, we're making it in Africa too. Like I'm telling you, bro.
But I'm saying specifically in South America with Mainoo and everything we're getting. We've never had this reach ever in our history. If people are telling me we used to get Lucas Piazon, trust me, I used to, like I said, Brazilian league. He was not that rated that highly as a talent ever. He just joined Chelsea, so we just hyped him up because he's a Brazilian talent coming from him. You were saying left-footed Kaká. I was laughing my ass off at that.
And some people in the chat are actually, this is not actually a bad shout. Like, what if in the summer one of them go and not both of them? You know, and kind of see like, okay, let's keep some semblance of the plan in here and see how it works with another cog instead of this current one in terms of planning. Like, I know some of us don't like the idea of even having two sporting directors. I kind of am in agreement with that. I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen. But I think also, I think a lot of the hesitancy with me comes from the fact that I just don't trust our owners to identify proper like a good option, a good sporting director.
Save themselves
you wanted
a little
Vivell
bit
at one point, and then all of a sudden you didn't want Vivell. You know, like there's a lot of if, ands, and maybes, and I'm at the point where like I'm frustrated, but let's see how it plays out. I go back to this. Let's see how it plays out. Maybe it works out. Maybe it doesn't, and then we'll play from there. Like you got to play the long game when it comes to this. But to an extent, I do want to continue on pointing out another one of their potential flaws, which is the next big story that we had here, which is the whole Chalobah being recalled thing. So as a lot of you already know, Chalobah has been recalled from Crystal Palace, and we have a lot of tweets to discuss it here. So let me bring them up one at a time. Let's go ahead and go over them. So a few days ago, we had Oliver Glasner, the current gaffer at Crystal Palace, saying Chalobah didn't play today for contractual issues. I know he wants, and we want him to stay, but we still have 19 days, so anything can happen. I want Chalobah to stay. I know Margay wants to stay. We continue on. Fabrizio Romano here reporting what Maresca had said about recalling Chalobah. He's a Crystal Palace player. It's a lack of respect to talk about it in public. And then Ornstein with the Bamba. Chelsea activate option to recall Trevor Chalobah from loan at Crystal Palace. 25-year-old defender returns with immediate effect, so not available for Crystal Palace and LFC tonight. Considered by CFC as an important part of the squad for the rest of the season. We all know why. Begdadi Bali, and this is the PR guys. This is very strange. I had to add it on here because you can tell it's a lot of PR going out. Begdadi Bali personally called Trevor Chalobah to tell him he wanted to recall him. What a hero. What a hero. This guy, what a man, owns up to his mistakes,
on the line, really.
bites the bullet, calls Chalobah, and then we have the Zarkinsella saying the opposite. So the Zarkinsella Bali Vincent saying, but when Stanley called Chalobah to speak about returning, not Iqbali. When Stanley, what a guy, what a true sporting director, biting, swallowing his ego, and
I just don't even know, how you even make that conversation. Like, oops, my bad.
My bad, bro. Yeah, and that's what I'm telling. Like, let's continue on with these tweets because I think this alludes to what the real plan is, right? Chelsea believe that Trevor Chalobah's deep connections to the club and the squad make him a safer acquisition in January than a new signing, which I see where you're coming from. We continue here. The expectation remains that Chalobah will leave Chelsea permanently at the end of the season, but he and the club realize that they can help each other in the meantime, and I want to focus on that. I think for both parties, this is a transaction. You're going to give me play time. I'm going to be at Chelsea. I'm going to show levels, sure. And in return, I will help you guys out. And you'll sell me anyways, right? Like, we're well aware of what's going on, and that's a thing with Chalobah. You must know. You must know what's going to happen. Don't be naive about this. Chelsea will sanction a permanent sale of Trevor Chalobah if he wishes to leave in search of more regular game time in the summer. And I love how they worded this. Chelsea will say, if he wishes to leave in search of more game time, as if it's his choice. It's not his choice. We've noticed already.
So Chalobah, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, like if he chooses to, no, he's probably going to want to leave, and he's probably going to be forced to leave. We already know how these owners treated him. Exactly. We continue on. On Trevor Chalobah being recalled, Josh Etchimpong remains highly rated by Chelsea and will continue to get opportunities. There is a recognition that Chelsea will face some criticism for recalling Trevor Chalobah after letting him leave on a loan in the summer. But it was decided to be the best and most sensible course of action. On recalling Trevor Chalobah, Liam Toomey is here reporting that many outsiders are as a tacit admission of an embarrassing error of squad planning by Paul Winstanley and Lawrence Stewart. But that is not the way it is being perceived within the club hierarchy, which I am baffled by, but okay. He also said here that Chelsea believe loaning out Trevor Chalobah in the summer was the right decision then, and recalling him early is the right decision now, even if it invites criticism. Trevor Chalobah was reluctant to return to Chelsea merely to fill out the squad due to injuries. Maresca, Winstanley, and Stewart offered him assurances that he would have meaningful first team role to play at Chelsea for the remainder of the season, which I agree because of the injuries, not because of what the original plan was.
Bro. If you're better than Tosin, you're already in the squad. That's pretty much it, bro. It's that simple.
And before we continue on, big up to TM127. And ladies and gents, also, just a reminder, smash the like button or subscribe if you are new to the channel. We do appreciate your company and your audience and your attention here. But TM127 with the $5 super chat, big up to you. I'll be honest, they need to sack whoever is in charge of these briefings because holy do they make themselves look stupid. And I think with this one, in general, with the whole PR, they make themselves look so arrogant and full of themselves. No, we think we made the right decision the whole time. You guys don't know what you're talking about. You guys look stupid recalling Chalobah. I'll be so honest with you. I think it's the right move, sure, because we save money. I don't think he ever should have been banished from the club. I think he should have deserved play time. Based on how he played last season when he came back, sure, you give him more play time. You see if he keeps it up. If he starts to dip in form, then you rotate him out. And you start proposing to sell him how you're doing with Disasi right now. But I don't think he should have been treated the way he's been treated. I think it's the right move to bring him back because it's the right move to correct your mistake, which they don't want to admit. So I think this is another strike on the sporting directors, in my opinion. Scott, I'm sure you obviously agree, but I would like to hear what you think, brother.
It's fucking embarrassing. embarrassing. These
Clown
these
show, bro.
these briefings are a joke. It's like I said earlier, they're insulting our intelligence. Like just say what it is. Is like we're bringing him back because it's injuries. And that's it. We keep it stepping. That's the only reason he's back. We know he'll be sold in the summer, or attempted to, and that's all it is. Don't tell me he's an important part of this squad. Maresca sees him as a key player. They were getting in touch with him to bring him back. Fuck off, man. Fuck all that nonsense. Like, shut up, man.
No,
absolute
I agree.
joke. Like, the way he
Oliver?
got treated was a joke in the first place. Now this nonsense, they're trying to like walk back on what they did. Like, fuck off. Absolute
Oliver,
nonsense.
How do you feel about this scenario as well?
Pretty much the same. I mean, I don't rate Chalobah as highly, but it is embarrassing nonetheless. And this whole thing about, you know, it wasn't a mistake. It just goes in the face of everything we see. Like, even look at the reports of, like, we're now trying to sell Disasi. Well, in that tweet before, they were trying to justify it. Oh, it was fine for him to go on loan because we have Disasi. Now we're trying to sell him. So how does this now make sense? How is it now not a mistake? Like, as Scott says, it just insults our intelligence, and yeah, it's arrogant. And we can't even just look at the Disasi as well. It's the fact that, you know, you try to build a squad with an injury prone and coming off an ACL Wesley Fofana as a starter. I always thought that was risky, and now he's out for the rest of the season. So once again, just poor from every single angle you look at it from.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone maybe defend the fact that it's a decision that was kind of forced to be made at this point?
Yeah, I would, and you guys know I crashed out on them earlier this stream, so I'm not on some defense league with them. But it kind of makes sense if you're talking about the right side in specific. They had Disasi, they had Tosin. Even if they think Fofana's injury prone, they thought they had these two players, right? One guy was supposed to be a free guy whose leadership role, who's played through the Man City Academy, so he knows how to play with the ball and all that stuff, make passes. He looks tall. He's on a free, right? So they're thinking, okay, he can add something similar to Chalobah in that sense, in terms of leadership. But he's Man City Academy, so he might get. And then Disasi, they had a bit more faith in. So I get they had to call Chalobah back because Fofana is saying he's not out for the season, but he's out for the season. And we learned that Tosin's not doing that great and Disasi's dog shit. And even to them, they think he's dog shit. That's what they're selling him. So they're like, hey, you are an important person to our squad because why wouldn't you be? Because who else is going to play the right side? You have a Josh Achupong who's doing well, but still very young, and we need you. And you're going to be important because you're going to be playing week in, week out because Fofana is injured and Tosin can't cover white spaces, and we want to sell Disasi. So them wording it that way, they're not wrong. He is important now. Like, as Arsen was saying, if you're better than Tosin, you're going to start. So he is important. That's the thing, right?
But you just you have to question the decision making though. You know, like, did they not know before they signed Tosin that he can't cover wide spaces? Did they not know before they signed Disasi that he wouldn't fit this system?
But I don't think so. Here's the thing, right? Well, first we had a lot of questions because in terms of, we thought Gusto could play in the back three at the right side, or if James was a bit fit, or Fofana could play on the right side. And we thought, I think they were thinking Tosin would be the center backup, right, of the back three for them. Tall, who could intercept, decent aerially, and then so on and so forth. That's what I think. With Disasi, yeah, I agree with you. He's not good at covering wide spaces, but I'm also putting that on Maresca. Maresca is also the idiot putting him at right back more than center back, or on the right side instead of the middle, right? Like, he's also the guy who's making these mistakes. I think Disasi there.
I think to an extent too, one notion to add, which we've seen now in the previous show when in regards to like the João Felix transfer, right? We saw that I think to an extent, and this is another negative on the directors, I think they were over reliant on Maresca trying to improve all of the players, kind of how like they were reliant on Pochettino to develop a whole squad of youngsters. I think they were oblivious to the fact that not all players can be improved upon. And Maresca is trying to make it obvious, like, listen, bro, give it up on Nkunku or give it up on Disasi. Like, I can't make this player better than what he is right now. Give it up on.
But how are you trying to improve Disasi? Like, what's the mindset behind that?
No, but no. Here's the thing. They were thinking probably they're not playing the heavy metal ball that Poch does. So he's not going to be. They're not going to be as high of a line or going to be as ping pongish. Because if we're going to have more control, we can handle a more slow-paced center back who can be good aerially and blah blah blah. Right? Because you've had that in other squads. Like Harry Maguire in a back three right now looks way better than he did before. And at times he's played in the middle, and at times he's played as the right side.
The problem, but I think fundamentally, like when you look at the guys that they mentioned, right? I can maybe understand Tosin, maybe in the sense that you were expecting Tosin to be somewhat good enough to at least be a backup, right? So I hear that one. Even at Champunk, I hear the Disasi one doesn't make sense to me because you saw the way that he played last season. And I get your point that you're saying now he's playing a bit more slower. He might be playing a back three. But the problems become, I think, the way that Maresca has played him as a right back is obviously incorrect. But secondly, when he has also played in the back four role with Maresca, when he's played as an actual RCB centre back for him in the Conference League, for example, right? He's looked the same. Right, and I think
I disagree with that. I think you're being
when
harsh.
he's played in the Conference League, he's not played that well. What are we discussing in the Conference League?
As a center back, I think he's been just fine.
Nah, in the Conference
Nah,
League,
bro, he's not been good.
No. In the Conference,
he's been good on corners. He's been good on corners. I'll give him that.
But again, we know that because again, like respectfully, because we know again, Disasi is a box defender, bro. That's what he is.
Yes.
Again, he's someone that defends the 18-yard box. He's not someone that can play the way we play, right? And I remember that there was this thing that's going around, right, about what Paul was it? Lawrence Stewart showed Paul Stanley to sign Disasi, and was all this thing about him doing passion.
Oh my god, the passion merchant!
And so I'm literally the athletic Marshall as well. Like this is an actual athletic.
Did you see this, Marshall?
Yeah, it's an actual athletic quote which came out when he signed Disasi at the time, right? And so if we're signing guys because of that, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know,
but I also think because he was captain, right? So I think that's what they also signed him because they're like passion/leadership role. Middle.
But again, this is something I don't know if I said.
But not ability though.
Let me finish because let me finish this because my issue is I think at times we misconstrue passion for being able meaning for talent. What I mean by that is that it's not showing passion outwardly and stuff like that does not mean that you have the talent. That's all I'm just gonna say. You know what I mean? Sometimes, bro, passion can be shown by playing your game. Passion can be shown by doing your own job, bro, and making sure you're dedicated to your job. That's passion. Passion does not mean, come on, lads, I just broke the header. You know, even that's not the only form of.
You remember last season when Disasi made a mistake and then he made the save on the, and then he celebrated like it was a goal when he was the one who made the mistake, bro. Like, come on, what are we doing here, bro?
I get that, but one thing I want to just. I feel like we're going back to this thing like we're focusing too much on the now versus like the context of when we acquired him, because Oliver did point out like why we signed him. Like there was context to it. Fofana got the freak injury and then Chalobah fell as well, right? So I know there was interest and links to him prior, which could have been lazy journalism because of the Monaco links with was it Win Stanley that came from Monaco or was it Lawrence Stewart that came from Monaco? Stewart. Okay. So with Stewart coming from Monaco, right? And when we look back at it too, when we look at the profile of what Disasi was at Monaco versus what he is now, they're two different players. You look if you were to look at the profiles in both and not say Disasi at the top of that profile, you would think they're two different players because of just the way he played at Monaco versus the way he's playing here and being used here at Chelsea. I just think in terms of also let me read this super chat real quick. Thank you TM127 for the $10 super chat. Also, I don't expect us to sign another CB, and that briefing that we are still looking at CBs is just nonsense. If we only do this for the January transfer, I don't care what position we end up, sack the SDs. I mean, fair enough. That's your opinion. I get where you're coming from. But in terms of, the whole Chalobah thing and all this happening, it does look bad. They just have to admit that when they take an L, just hold it. I think a lot of the fan base will respect you a lot more for just holding the fact that you fucked up and whatever. Just get us a better center back now. Actually go out and improve on what we have. And yeah, sell Disasi. I think I do still hold AHMED to the fact that I said before. It's not a fact, but the opinion I had before that I think the sporting directors were like, Maresca can improve Disasi. Like, we did have Rudiger at this club at one point where we were all like, bro, this guy's going to go in January. Tuchel comes in and revolutionizes the player and puts him in a system that benefits him. I think you're right when it comes to saying with Disasi, obviously this system doesn't benefit him. He would probably benefit from a different system, maybe a low block one. I don't know. I think this is another one where they just relied too much on Maresca.
Listen, I get the context you were given, but I think that's fair enough. But I still think, even if the context you gave, doing what they were showing was still not a great look. That's the point I'm trying to come back.
I agree with Oliver when he said about the Fofana thing. Planning around Fofana being fit is dumb.
But I think for me, again, with Disasi, the reality of Disasi, right, is that you need to get your money back on Disasi as well, right? That's something that we also...
There was a pricey little transfer, I'm not going to lie.
Remember, you got him for something like 40 million, so... And I think the club are banking on being able to sell Chalobah and get a good amount of money off of him for pure profit, such that if the Disasi doesn't work out, the loss is not going to really hurt you because you've sold Chalobah already. It kind of balances it out, with the amount of money you may lose on like a guy like a Disasi, regardless of the end of the day. But again, we come back to like obviously discussion we just had previously about the sporting directors, and you're talking about end of season review stuff. But this is I think shows to me these guys aren't necessarily sporting directors. I think RSM is correct in that aspect that these guys really aren't sporting directors. They're really just head scouts.
Talent
I think they're heads. I think the better term to use is that these guys are really head scouts, bro. That's what they really are. The guys that you got on top of us are really just head scouts, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Guys that can identify that. I think RSM is actually a bit more bang on the mind there. But I think for me, the problem you're gonna have again, it comes back to for me is that people, when they get demoted from somewhere which is really high to somewhere low, is very rare they accept that. That's the worry I would have. Like, I don't know about you, RSM, because I don't see them accepting, I'm going to go from sporting director to head scout. I don't know, because like a lot of people have hunger, people have desire, right? And when you do that to someone, when they were in a bigger position than they were previously, that is the worry I have, that they wouldn't accept that either. So.
RSM, actually, before you go, RSM, hold on to that thought, because I think this next segment is actually going to add on to what you have to say in regards to sporting directors. And that's that the current center back situation, right? So a little bit of an update of what's going on and what seems to be the plan going into January is the following. Breaking, despite bringing back Chalobah, I'm told Chelsea are still looking at center backs in January, according to Fabrizio Romano. Enzo Maresca said as far as a new center back goes, he's okay. We have Adeyemi, who I find is so baffling that he went from really bad injury to apparently he's close to being back. We have Achimpong doing well, Axel and Levi who can do well in the position. Jesus Christ. Okay. Maresca on Wesley Fofana. It's been quite clear. I spoke with Wes. The 12 to 16 weeks the club mentioned is the situation. Wes is thinking he can recover sooner than that. We are going to see. Wesley Fofana is not expected to return until March or April, which at that point, the season's just about over. You have May, and I don't see that happening, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Brother, it's like a player's always going to want to come back sooner. Like that's why they can't be allowed to make decisions about when they want to be on the pitch.
Matt Law saying here, Chelsea have a young and so far unnamed center back lined up for the summer, whose move they could look to try to accelerate now. Chelsea hope that the return of Trevor Chalobah can see them through until the end of the season, when the club are confident of signing at least one so far unnamed defender permanently. I mean, RSM, what did you have to say before? And I mean, maybe this adds on to it. Maybe I just made it worse.
So for me personally, I'm gonna be honest. I think we were doing really, really well, right? Going into December, January. I think because everything fell apart in December and a lot of the holes that we have in the squad became apparent then, brother, I'm telling you, I'm becoming more and more certain that they had no plan for this window to do basically anything at all. I'm being serious.
You think they were like ratting their laurels kind of thing? Like,
yeah, I think.
Hey, this is gonna work
I mean,
out.
that's it because like, because even before the bad run of form, there was nothing even like Chelsea might have an active window, etc. Nothing, not even like the PR, nothing. And then even as the bad run of form continued and we approached January, still nothing. We're mid-January and we're just now getting this news. Bro, they had no plan. There was nothing. There was no plan to do anything this window because everything was going so well. They're like, why try to add anything? Why need to do anything? We'll wait until the summer. Now they've been put in this position where you can even see Maresca saying, hey, these past 4 or 5 games we would have won if we were more clinical up front. He's not like he can't say it any much more clearly without going out and saying it, and he's not going to do that because that's not very classy, but he's doing the most he can to try to say that in the press conference that he needs more options at the striker position at 9. They were not going to do anything for that. And when it comes to the center back situation, they were also going to, it's very, very obvious as well, they were planning around Fofana staying fit, and I think Tosin being better than he really is.
Exactly.
Because this Josh thing, they stumbled into it. They got bailed out by Cobham producing once again another good defender. Because that's what it is. I agree. Bro, that's what it is. They got bailed out.
In terms of like, the striker situation that you said, I disagree with that actually. I think they were planning to get a good striker in. They were planning to get Osimhen, but this is something that, Ahmed, I've criticized the negotiation tactics when it comes to the sporting directors very, very heavily.
Oh, I'm speaking about
guys
this window.
Cannot get.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just mean in general, right? Like these guys, when it comes to getting deals done, they take too long and they don't get the ideal price point that we've wanted. We've paid overs for Caicedo. I'm not complaining about it. We paid overs on Enzo. Not complaining about that either way. And they were just about ready to pay overs on Osimhen. And unfortunately, things collapsed at the very last minute. He ended up not going to either club and then going to Turkey, right? But we were trying to get a striker. So I do want to give a little bit more like grace than, criticism at that front. But I agree with you in the terms that I think they were blindsided by the fact that things were looking pretty good and things looked like they were actually working out. I think for them, they were more focused on, okay, we have the spine. Let's focus on the business as usual aspect. Let's keep bringing on youth and kind of introduce them little by little. But now they're kind of at that point where I'm like, oh shit, we might have to get like number 1 choice targets now because maybe Neto wasn't enough. Maybe we need another one in the market, because they did go for number 1 choice targets. Neto was one of them. Tosin, I think potentially was one of them, but it didn't work out the way they planned. So I think to an extent, you're right. They didn't have a plan B because they were so reliant on plan A. Ahmed, you look like you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, because RSM's work, because remember, the whole talk going into, I think it was like mid-December was, Chelsea are just going to be looking for opportunistic signings in the January transfer window. And even now, what are we doing? We're just looking at opportunistic signings. Matthias still technically is an opportunistic signing because we're trying to get Nkunku off. We're trying to bring in a Matthias Still. Another guy that we just spoke about, Adeyemi. Loan deal, opportunistic signing. We're trying to ship off. They want Veiga. They want Chukwemeka as well. That we're trying to get deals done for them on their side too. So right now, a lot of the deals we're seeing are just opportunistic signings. Plus Chalobah, who's an easy guy to bring back because he's already a known quantity for you as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of opportunistic, and it goes back to what RSM was saying, right? Like, there wasn't a plan B. You were just gonna ride this out, and if there was some really good signings there that you think could bolster the club and you could make a good profit off of if you ended up flipping on it, like a Jadon Sancho, right? Like, let's be honest. If we buy Jadon Sancho, if he continues on in the way he's playing where he's been good, right? Like, the performances aren't there, but Jadon Sancho has been good overall. Then you eventually flip him for 60 or 45 mil. I don't know. You name the price, but he's a lot cheaper than, how United ended up buying him. But, you just mentioned another target, right? And it's, I think, to an extent, an opportunistic signing as well. And this is another big story that I wanted to talk about that everyone's been ranting and raving over. And I think it looks like rumor has it could potentially collapse as well. The Tel and Nkunku scenario. So this happened in between the last stream and this stream for the Casually Chelsea show. This broke out, I think Monday it broke out, right? Where we find out that Matheus Tel is now linked to the club and Nkunku could potentially go to Bayern. So let's, I have a lot of tweets on this, so let me just run through this as quick as possible and then we'll talk about it as well. Because I would like to pick you guys' brains in terms of the talent that we have here, that we're being linked with, I should say. Enzo Maresca had stated that Christopher Nkunku did not tell me he wants to leave. He didn't talk about his future. Meanwhile, Nkunku's in talks with Bayern move as Chelsea want Matheus Tel as revealed tonight, and Bayern insist on Nkunku as a top target. Obviously, this was all spoken about prior to the announcement. So Fabrizio broke out the exclusive that Chelsea held talks with Matheus Tel with Bayern in recent days, early stages of contracts to be informed on his situation. Tel spoke to company 10 days ago as he wants to succeed at Bayern, while Chelsea asked for info on Matheus Tel during talks with the German club. Ornstein also confirming that the 19-year-old long-standing forward is being contacted over a deal. More info on the Matheus Tel deal. Bayern and Chelsea held initial talks about the possible swap deal with players being discussed. Bayern asked for Christopher Nkunku's situation at Chelsea as Bild reported. Nothing advanced / close yet, but initial talks took place. This was 3 days ago, ladies and gents. We move on. Chelsea will bid for Matheus Tel if given any encouragement that the player is available from Bayern. No swap deal for Christopher Nkunku initiated or offered by Chelsea. However, it's understood Bayern hold an interest in Nkunku, according to Ben Jacobs. Christopher Nkunku, and this is the German media reporting it, that Christopher Nkunku wants to join Bayern. Talks are ongoing, but it's still early stages. Berger also confirming here that Nkunku has full verbal agreement over long-term contract with Bayern. Chelsea want 59 million pounds for the player. Nkunku, according to Fabrizio, is really open and interested in joining Bayern. It's something he seriously considered because he wants to play more. He believes that there is not enough space at Chelsea. He's being professional and respectful, but wants to play more. And I would say he is being professional to an extent. Bayern interested in signing Christopher Nkunku in a separate deal, according to David Ornstein, for Matheus Tel. I mean, they could still go in tandem for a swap, I guess. Bayern Munich want to sign Christopher Nkunku immediately as he is their top target this window. Bayern have already reached a full verbal agreement with Nkunku on long-term contract. Nkunku wants to join Bayern right away. Matheus Tel is viewed as one of Europe's best young forwards in European football and would cost in excess of 40 million pounds. Obviously, a price point that I would like to bring back up if it's worth it or not. We continue on. Chelsea sporting director Lawrence Stewart wants Tel. He's a long-term target for him. Chelsea's initial request to Bayern for Nkunku is 70 million euro package. Nkunku's keen on the move to Bayern. Now up to clubs with Matheus Tel's situation also to be clarified and discussed. So we're halfway through the stories. We're almost there. Bear with me, people. Nkunku situation, Bayern signing Nkunku without including a player like Tel won't be easy. Chelsea believe Nkunku has same value as Kvara, who is joining PSG. We have more info here from Matt Law. Chelsea are adamant that Nkunku would need to be replaced this month and are currently looking at right-sided attackers who can play off the left or through the middle. Matheus Tel falls into the bracket. Chelsea are also interested in Kvaratskhelia, which obviously that's not going to happen because he already signed for PSG. Chelsea are determined not to let Christopher Nkunku go on the cheap. They want the sum in full rather than parts of any package, including add-ons. Agent Pini Zahavi is determined to make Nkunku to Bayern happen. Chelsea requests 60 million pounds. Fabrice Hawkins here reporting, who's a name we haven't heard in a while. Matheus Tel does not see himself leaving this January, determined to make a place for himself in Munich. However, it is not impossible to see him leave the club in the form of a loan or a dry transfer to Chelsea or elsewhere because there is no shortage of interested clubs. Justin, Tel does not want to leave, confirmed. He could only have a rethink if he doesn't get chances in the next matches. So far, Tel feels there is no signs he's out of the Bayern project, according to this source, Kerry Howe, Sky reporter. Tel is not rejecting Chelsea. His dream is to just make it at Bayern. Let's see what happens between now and the end of the window, according to Fabrizio Romano. And this source reported here that apparently Bayern director is denying any links to Nkunku. We've got no interest in doing anything in January. Nkunku rumors, we are extremely happy with our squad. Tell, you can see he is not playing with freedom. It is up to us to give him time to find his freedom again. We have a squad equipped in terms of quality and quantity. And that wraps up all the tweets, ladies and gents. But Mateus Tell, obviously, I looked into him. I think if we do sign the player, he starts over Jackson. I think he is a more complete. He is a left winger with a weak. Well, let me let my point. He is a more complete attacker in terms of what he can do. I think he can do the job that Jackson does, but he has better finishing. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. He has a weak foot, which Jackson does not have. He does have some heading ability, and he does show some defensive ability as well. So for me, if this player were to come, although he is 19, I think he is that signing in the perspective of the recruitment and the owners as a signing that would bench Jackson and force Jackson to step up. Excess of 40 million pounds. Nkunku goes the other way. Obviously, CP, I'll give you the floor first in terms of what you think about this.
Actually, can you let Ahmed go? I just gotta do something quickly. If you can let someone.
No, you're gonna go now. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Whoa! Chill out.
Put the gun down.
Yeah, man. That was a bit crazy.
You had that reaction, bro. You're gonna have to hold that smoke. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest, Marshall. I'm gonna have to fundamentally disagree with you in regards to him starting over Jackson. I think for me, Mateus Tell is a good up and coming talent. I think the one thing he does have over Jackson is his ball striking ability.
Weak foot. He can play on left and right.
Brother, why do we?
He does have heading ability.
I don't really think I need to be caring about if he can play on the left and right. I need a striker, bro. I don't need him to be playing on the right. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm sorry to tell you that, bro.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Honestly, that's the aspect. Yeah, but what were you saying, bro? Come on, I'll let you finish.
No, I'm just saying in terms of this news that broke out on Monday. Here's the thing. I think it seems to me that our ownership is trying to move in silence. They're throwing a lot of bait out there. Linked to Delap and Duran and Sesko. And then all of a sudden, this Mateus Tell link happens.
I was about to say.
Listen, Marshall, I'm going to be so honest with you. This Tell thing, I don't think it's going to happen personally.
No, it's not. He doesn't want it. If he wanted it, then I would be like, okay, maybe.
If he wanted it, I would have said he would have come. But I think the other issue for me also is that I think for me, if you're going to be buy and Tell, I actually don't think it should be for that striker position. It'd probably be for using him more so as a goal scoring left winger, in my personal opinion, because we are missing a winger that can actually be a goal scorer.
It is a position we need regardless, yeah.
Right, so I think for me that position actually might be the bigger need when it comes to him, right? But I think for me,
I was gonna say,
yeah, go ahead.
Let's just, what if, hypothetical, what if he's brought in to play as a striker for the remainder of the season until we hit the summer where we will actually approach for a Delap. And then he's shifted back to the left because as of right now, we have players that can supplement the left. We don't have a striker that can bench Jackson.
No, I get, I get what you're saying and everything like that. I mean, that's fair enough. But the reality is, bro, Bridge Nation, I feel like, Tell was one of them ones. I just feel like for me right now, I think particularly that striker position, I don't want to be going for younger guys. Does that make sense? Pause. That sounds crazy, but I want to go for a bit more. Again, I said this before my stream. A bit more guys with a bit more experience. If that makes sense, right? Listen, there can be young players.
More build to them, right? Right? Yeah. What are we trying to say? You got a little more build to them, more muscle, more
a bit more work experience.
Bit more work experience. Maybe the stamina, you know. I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
Bro, please.
Marshall, please. Chill out, bro.
Zip it up, bro. What are we doing here?
So, man, Drink water, man. Drink water. Hydrate, man. Hydrate.
Drink water.
Hydrate, man. Hydrate, man. I get it. No, but on a serious note, obviously, getting back to the actual topic itself, I think, listen, Tel's a good player, good up-and-coming player, but again, I think the problem for me, it comes back to something I was speaking about earlier in the stream and I accidentally crashed out, which is like, yes, I get we're getting these up-and-coming players, but like, is that something that we need in that position, up-and-coming?
Not really.
You get what I'm saying to you, Marshall?
What do you mean? If it's left wing, I'm fine with it because there's not a lot of good goal scoring left wingers.
No. I'm not talking just about Tal. The question was about the striker position in general. I'm just talking about.
Okay.
Right? Because I again, if you bring in Tal, fair enough. Left wing, you already got Sancho there that's actually doing a good job for you anyway. Regardless, bringing in Tal's probably going to be something of like, okay, opportunistic signing. He's probably going to be helpful in the sense that he can probably do a few more services for you. But from a club perspective, you're probably not going to choose him again over Jackson. That's the thing. And I think there's also this other question that becomes that we're seeing right now. Is Maresca, if Jackson's doing poorly, is he going to be willing? Is he going to be happy with a Tel to come on? Right, so those are like the different things that we have to think about when it comes to some of these signings, right?
Yeah, I think he might be a little bit because Marguerite came on when he didn't have the pressure of putting in Nkunku on. He did that last game or the game before. Remember, he took off Jackson and put on Marguerite as striker for a little bit, and he's young, right? So I think he's willing to do that for this season.
And I think 10 minutes remaining, bro. Come on, bro. You know, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're willing to do that for this season. Like he can be like a left winger / striker in terms of like, let's say one game you're starting Sancho, right, and he's doing well, but Jackson's not scoring, or you need some fox in the box, and Tel has I think 90% aerial duels won, so at least he can offer you that, right? He's tall, he's good in the air, he's better at ball striking and being a fox in the box, so he can give you that for this season, and then they might go for a striker, whether it be, I think it's probably going to be Delap, like Marshall was saying. Obviously I want someone with way more work experience, as you were saying, but I think if we get Tel and get rid of Nkunku, it's a pretty good deal, I think, in my perspective. Even if we pay 50 million and they buy Nkunku for 60, like, you know, in a sense, they're only losing 10 million. They're getting a guy who's experienced in the Bundesliga, who's been top scorer for 2 years in a row in that league. And he can be like a shadow striker because Kane likes to drop in deep like a 10, and they play Musiala and Alicia on the wings anyways in company system. So it would work for them. I like having depth anyways with any Bundesliga team.
I'm trying to just kind of think like right now in terms of where I'm at with this deal, if it's going to happen or not. I'm inclined to say it's not, but I'm not 100% saying it's done because, and I can't think of any examples right now other than Romelu Lukaku, who is not the best example, but there have been transfers in the past where they've denied or not necessarily rejected, but they were like, I'm not really interested, where we later on were able to kind of persuade them to join. I think there's also, you got to think in at 1%. Well, let me ask another question to you guys. Do you guys think from the Nkunku aspect of this, do you feel that Bayern's interest in Nkunku is a legitimate one, and maybe one that they would actually really try to convince Tel to say, hey, we really want this player. I really think for your career, it might actually benefit you, and maybe try to push him in that direction?
I don't know. I'm agree with you. I think
because
I think they want Nkunku. I just don't know why Nkunku wants them.
It's because of Monsieur.
Don't know.
The only reason why I would say that, by the way, is because of
Nkunku was what? I'm sorry, one more time.
The reason why I would say that is because obviously, as you guys know,
Wait, say what? What did you say?
Musiala, he's only got I think 18 months left on his deal, and he's and he's not signing a deal, right? So you need to start giving yourself some level of like.
Oh, so you think Bayern are kind of reserved about it because they don't know the future Musiala?
Yes, right. And
Nkunku would fit with. Well, technically, did you say Musiala was playing in the wing or the 10? Well, he could play both, but
he plays both, but he plays on the left.
It's the same thing. That's
with Nkunku though.
Same thing that they have with Elise doing, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes
and Nkunku can do that technically. In Bundesliga, Nkunku can do it. He's done it.
Yeah, in Bundesliga, yeah.
So what if it's also like another one of those like, well, we're gonna get Nkunku because if Musiala were to leave, then we have Nkunku who can fill in that role, and we all know that in Bundesliga Nkunku was dominant. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like there's a little bit of a gray area there where maybe they could talk to Matthijs Tel into saying like, bro, do the deal because it would actually benefit us.
I think it would be deadline day signing for us if that happens because I think he got a little bit of minutes today, but it was like sub minutes
45
once again.
Yeah, he got 45 yesterday.
45 minutes? Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, it's because they were up 3-0. So
Yep.
they're like, why not? Right. So I don't know how often Bayern will be up
Before
that
that,
much.
no, because before that, I'll tell you, I'm looking because I looked it up right now. So before that, in the league, he got 8 minutes December
That's what I'm
20th
saying,
against Leipzig. Yeah, he got when they were up 5-1.
he's not getting minutes.
He got 26 minutes the 14th when they lost 2-1. He got 25 minutes when they were winning 5-1 against Shakhtar Donetsk in the UCL. Against Leverkusen when they lost 1-0, he got 6 minutes. November 30th, and like, he's not getting like consistent game time. He's not.
Yeah. He's only getting big minutes if they're up more than 3.
Yep.
So he's just kind of holding on to a pipe dream in a sense.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they
So
started
that's what
playing.
I'm saying. It's
so
going to be
he's-
deadline day. Because if he doesn't get game time until
dude,
deadline
he has
day, then he'll be
253 minutes played all season.
This season.
253. That's like nothing, bro.
Yep.
Yikes.
And by the way, and 90 minutes of that was basically this month.
Yikes. It's not good.
So that's why I think it's going to be deadline day where if they continue not playing him that much, then he's like, okay, why not? Why don't I do this?
And this is my point about Tel. I don't think I've spoken to him yet. I think he's a good young talent. I think he's a good promise. I see why they would want him as a long-term thing. I just don't see him as a solution to bench Jackson. I really don't. Like, I disagree with you saying that, like, oh, he's going to come in and immediately benches Jackson. I don't agree. I think we need to get a striker that 100% has already proven in a league, that has done the goal scoring, that has won something, that actually puts Jackson on that bench. I'm being serious. Like, that's realistically what we need, bro. Like, I don't want another young striker. The issue is that we're having right now is young players by nature are going to be inconsistent. That's how young players are. Young players are just inconsistent, and we are going to put in a young striker expecting him to bench Jackson, so they're both gonna be inconsistent. Like I don't want that, bro. I need the experienced striker. Like I'm being so serious, and I don't see. But the issue is I don't see them doing that. There's no murmurings, nothing. Like it would have to be a surprise move, like you said, moving in silence, like a Neto kind of thing. But I don't see them doing that often. I really don't.
Yeah,
I think,
we only have last summer really that they showed that, and this move from Matthijs Tel, because let's be honest, no one knew they were working or even interested in Matthijs Tel. You could make up a rumor and maybe make up a hypothetical if you were to be in that situation, but yeah, I don't know. It's, you know what I started thinking today too in regards to the directors. I think the way they work is more so obsessed with finding the right, and even then they haven't gotten this completely right. I feel like they're more obsessed with finding the right profile, whether it's a 16-year-old or a 26-year-old, than they are finding the quality, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it feels that way because when you look at it that way, you have more options in terms of finding a proper profile than you do with finding the best option or the one that would give you the most results. Does that make sense, Ahmed? I don't know if I'm making any sense at all right there.
I think what you're saying is that they care more about what they can do rather than the results they can give you. Does that make sense? Is that what you're saying?
I think they're more obsessed with, because let me explain it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the market, there's very few strikers out there that you can be like, that guy's a baller, right? And that guy's definitely going to get me goals. But when you look for a certain profile, you have a lot more options.
Exactly. I think I get what you mean now. You're saying they're looking more for guys that fit the system and
Yeah.
not guys
Despite
that can
age.
actually, not guys that can do a job. I get what you mean.
Yeah, which it's kind
Which
of a
is
double-edged sword.
Which I think it just comes back to the issue that we're speaking about, which is there are guys there that fit your profile that have got the experience though, Marshall. If that makes sense, right? Which is what annoys me. Like, you know my thoughts, right? When it comes to the centre back market, I get that you have to look for profile and young age there, because the other option is way too expensive right now, and it's just going to be very hard to be bringing a lot of these guys out of their deals, because the reality is that, in particular, that centre back position, right? Those guys are too comfy and are happy where they are, because that's the elites of the elite teams, right? So there's going to be positions where it's not going to be possible, and I've come to say, okay, that's fair enough. We'll keep it pushing. But my issue has become where there are positions where we don't need to necessarily do that, we are forcing ourselves to do that thing. That is what's beginning to annoy me, bro. If that makes sense. Like, we're doing that, and then there's also this thing of like the reason why I was questioning other profits is because like we're becoming too money focused, right? And I get money's a part of the game, but
yeah,
we're doing too much of that and not focusing on finishing the job. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we're gonna have to see with this one, man. Like, the more and more this window goes, the more and more disappointed I'm getting. And the more this plan and the season is playing out, the more and more disheartening it's becoming. And I really, really hope like things do turn around, and that I end up being wrong in these feelings that I have right now, and that I hope all of us end up being wrong, right? Because at the end of the day, we want Chelsea to be better. We want Chelsea to improve. Obviously, no ownership, no model is perfect. As you can see now by this season, how Man City's model has gone for them and how it completely backfired in terms of how they were going to retain that level of quality and standard. But it's again, like, you can only hope to improve on it, whether it be sacking the directors or potentially just continuing on and hoping to get the results. I don't know what the solution is. At the end of the day, we all want what's best for the club, and at the end of the day, we kind of just have to hope that this works out, because if it doesn't, it's one of those things that, like, oh man, I can't do another season like this. I really, really can't. This is not Chelsea. It's not Chelsea, standards per se. Yeah. Okay, we got one more before we close it out, ladies and gents, just because we did talk a lot and it is getting late. And yeah, I mean, I think we touched on most of the big stories. The one I want to end it on is this one, Delap being a first choice target. So a bit of an update on this. Nothing really new here. We kind of already know what's going on, but now the links are showing a bit more support and a lot more strength. I don't know why I'm describing it like this, but the links have gotten a bit stronger. We continue on here with Ben Jacobs. Despite unwavering faith in Nicholas Jackson, another forward could arrive. This could be more urgent if Christopher Nkunku asked to leave. Chelsea remain extremely keen on Liam Delap. Ipswich reluctant to sell in January, but Chelsea are serious and Delap is open to it. Ipswich are reluctant to sanction a sale in January, but Chelsea are serious contenders for Delap, who is open to the move to Stamford Bridge, according to Ben Jacobs. Now, you can take Ben Jacobs with a little bit of grain of salt if you want. It's up to you. He's been right about a few things in terms of the business side of things, but he has had pie in his face in terms of transfer news as well. So Matt Law saying, definitely have an eye on Liam Delap. I would suggest a heavy one. This was about 2 weeks ago. And the latest I believe we have in terms of Delap is, in addition to adding a center back to their ranks this month, Chelsea are also keen to add their forward options. In addition to Tel, forward Liam Delap is a player of genuine interest to Chelsea. Now, it seems like people are pretty 50-50 when it comes to Liam Delap. It's very understandable. He's not necessarily the most experienced player. Maybe the profile or the style in which he plays isn't something that favors the eye. But I do think there is potential in this player. Obviously, the Joe Shields link with Man City, it's not a bad link to have. I think we've seen most of those have been hits for us. But in regards to Liam Delap, I say I'm not opposed to the signing. I do think we should aspire for something a little bit better, or maybe a little bit more proven, like an Osimhen, I would say. But yeah, I mean, that's really where I stand on it. Obviously, RSM, give me your say, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, I don't think Delap is a bad striker. I don't think that he's, I don't have any problems with him as a striker. I just don't see how he raises the level on Jackson as much as we need it to, right? Like, we really do need that out and out striker, especially as we've seen this season, when teams respect us and they've all figured out the blueprint, when they're able to sit back and they're able to really be compact in that midfield and they don't give us any spaces, we struggle, because what do? We start crossing the ball, and we have wingers who are able to really do that, especially Neto. Neto puts in these dime crosses, and who do we have on the end of it? Cucurella. Like, be serious. Like, I haven't seen, like, from what I've seen of Delap, he's good, but he's not, for example, on the level we were trying to get in the summer with Osimhen. And at that point, that's kind of what we need. And again, I also come back to my point of very young players who haven't done it for like a full season at the top, et cetera, haven't been a winner, like winning. And for example, being like the way that Osimhen was, right? One of the primary strikers, right? For when Napoli won the league. Like that, you need to be consistent for that. That shows already a level of consistency. That's why that's my point with EPL stuff. Like, I just don't think that he has the experience that we need. I don't think, not to say that he's not a bad player, that he won't ever amount to it, but for what we need right now in this moment, I don't see Delap being it, which is why I understand people being frustrated with it. I really do. And my issue also becomes in what happens this window, because it's clear to me that we're not moving for like an Osimhen or Yuckers, et cetera. So then what are we doing this window if we do get in a striker at all?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm worried about, because it's just going to be, I think, like, in many ways, I think if we end up getting anybody, it's going to be a lateral move. It's not going to be an upgrade. It's just going to be like a side addition to Jackson. We're there hopefully at the same level. But then again, you're then depending, like, oh, Jackson has a bad game, put in the other young striker. What if they have a bad game? Then we also play Jackson and try to fix it again? Like, I don't think like that is going to be a formula for success for what we're looking for. So, yeah, I have to head out, but thank you for the show. I appreciate it, Marshall. I'll be having a good one. Peace out, man.
You're always welcome, brother. Have a good one.
Appreciate it.
CP, what are your thoughts on this whole Delap situation?
He's okay. He provides a different profile. I love the vast difference of opinions in the chat, because we have Abdihas saying, "For the love of God, don't get me Delap." Besides getting penalties, he's doing fuck all. Funny thing is, out of the 8 goals he scored, he's only scored 2 penalties this season, because I literally checked. He's only scored 5 penalties ever, or professionally. I just checked as well. And then Ray Allen's like, I want Delap before his price shoots up to 100 million. So love the difference of opinions on that. And literally the next comment. But yeah, I don't think I agree with what RSM is saying. It's very much inexperience for inexperience, and we need someone experienced to be there, right? Like, Delap works if like he's a 3rd choice striker in a title winning side. He shouldn't be a 2nd choice striker for us if we're trying to keep, move up further to at least challenging for the title next season. He's not good enough. I think he is on 8 goals this season, so if he gets over 15, then it could change my mind, right? Because now he's scored 15, 16 plus goals in first year in the league for an Ipswich side that, he shouldn't be scoring that much at all. So if he does that, if he scores over 15 goals, 15 and up, then I'll change my mind on that. But if he doesn't, then yeah, it's very much the same.
Yeah, I will say this just to close out the show, and big up to everyone in the chat who has been an active participant into the discussion. You guys make this show just as much as the panel does, just as much as myself. So big up to yourselves. If you haven't done so already, do smash up the like button for yourselves and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Big up to the new viewers. You're welcome here. Just like everyone's opinions and all that shit's welcome. Open territory. Just don't be stupid. But as far as Liam Delap goes, and, we had a huge discussion overall on the sporting directors. Part of the reason also that I'm willing to give this time to play out is, let's just say in a hypothetical, this does end up in a top 4 finish. Something to take into context is the fact that we have not had sponsorship money because of the results, obviously partially their own fault, and Champions League also partially their own fault. So if they rectify those mistakes and we get extra money, I want to see how they start moving in the market, because with more funds, I would assume your strategy changes a little bit. Or it stays the same. Who knows? Either they start to be a little bit more ambitious in terms of how much they're willing to spend and how much they're willing to put into the first team, or they just continue status quo as usual and just pocket that profit, right? And that's something I'm really worried about. But it is something nonetheless that I would have to take into consideration if they were to get top 4s. Because them getting top 4, to me, although I would like to obviously aspire for more, is the bare minimum. You got top 4, you got a trophy. Cool. You just scrape by the acceptable bare minimum. Now, the next thing is obviously challenging for the title. If we get that Champions League money, if we take that into account when we go into the transfer market, how does it change how you go shopping? Obviously, when you have less money, your options are a lot less limited. When you have more money, your options broaden a bit, and you can start shopping in places that you used to not shop in. That's kind of where I'm at in terms of, let's just see where it goes. I'm going to be observant, but I'm going to observe and go through it with a very fine-tooth comb. And I will scrutinize a lot in terms of the details as well, which is what we've been doing this whole window. Is let's see at every single detail that's going on. Let's see the news. Let's see everything, the journals and what they're saying. Let's come to our own conclusion and our own, opinion on this and where we think it's going, and analyze it when we get different information. I don't know. It's something that it's something that could change a lot of things. I'm hoping it does for the better. Time will tell. But CP, any closing statements before we close it out?
Yeah, we better make more signings. We need another center back, and we need an attacking goal scoring option. If not, when the window ends, then I'm fully crashing out.
You do not want to see a full crash out CP. If he hasn't done it yet, I'm worried what would happen if he were to fully crash out. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, big up to every single one of you who tuned into today's stream. Big up to every single one of you who made it to 3 hours. We just got there. So CP, you get your bonus. We just made it. So big up to big up to every single one of you guys who stuck around. I do appreciate the support. I do appreciate the attention. Be sure to smash up the like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the links in the description. Like I said, and I keep touting it because I want to emphasize how important it is. The Discord is a very, very big part of the show. Discord is how I get a lot of these links, a lot of these talking points, other than me doing my own research as well. Discord is another way we can get clips, react to some of the videos you guys send in, receipts, some of the funny aspects of the show. It all helps out the channel tremendously. It all is, adding on to the community aspect of the show, which we have a pretty good community that's very active also on Discord. So check it out if you haven't done so already. Check out the memberships because memberships allow us to keep the lights on in the show. It supports us tremendously. And I'm going to give a shout out to our proper casual and higher tier members, and that's going to be TM127, EE, Hassan Nawaz, Dark, Adrian, and Soliman. Appreciate your support at the proper casual and higher tiered as always. I do have to add more names to this list, so I will go back and look for those names and make sure I shout them out next time at the beginning of the show. Today is Thursday. I believe the next time we are going to stream is either going to be Sunday. There might be something on Saturday. I don't know. There might be another show. I genuinely don't know. So we'll see when the next time we stream. I do know for sure it has to be on Sunday. We will have something, and hopefully there's some news to discuss. Hopefully some good news. Oh, last but not least, obviously, ladies and gents, we're going to rate out. Copy and paste the raid message. We're going to be rating Saeed TV. Obviously, probably celebrating a victory at Southampton, a last-minute hat trick. But maybe they've come down from the little bit of a dopamine spike they got and realized that, oh my God, they almost lost to Southampton today. Which, big up to Leslie Ugochukwu, who had a good cameo today, good performance overall. I think he was substituted off and did not end the match, which is probably why they capitulated. Who knows? Agenda's right there. But big up to Saeed. Go ahead, show him that raid message, copy and paste it over to his chat. We'll see you guys again very soon. And as always, stay casual. Have a good night and peace.